Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Darkest Hour. Tonight is episode 61 with Gloctane and Y4mi. Two brand new guests. Pretty cool. Alright, let's go say hi to the boys. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Feeling good. It finally worked.
We're finally here. We skipped a week. Sorry about that, chat. But now we have two brand new guests instead of one new guest. Y4mi and Gloctane. Hello, boys.
What's up, guys?
What's going
Oh,
on?
you're muted.
Oh,
You're
no,
muted,
I was just waiting. I felt bad. Like,
Okay.
I kept talking over people. So, howdy. Hi, my name is Gloctane.
Hi, my name is Y4mi.
Good to have you guys here. You guys are some up-and-comers in the dark and darker community. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, of course. Donnie, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. I'm trying a new diet. I'm hitting that like carnivore keto diet.
Okay.
And I'm
Wait,
eating
both
meat
at the
and
same time?
cheese. I guess it's more like just keto, because like you know, just trying to stay away from like bread and carbs. But I mean, you know, if you're doing that, you're just eating a lot of meat, basically. Basically, I've been eating meat and cheese for like the last 5 days, and I realize now that I've yet to poop for like 3 days. So
Yeah, you get some fiber in there.
yeah, I'm gonna hit like some green beans or something here soon.
Just eat some
That's
fruit.
violent on the 7th day, bro.
But you can't eat fruit, bro. Fruit's
No
sugar.
fruit at all? Okay.
Oh,
Alright.
Yeah,
damn.
you gotta avoid the.
So you're going to be
you
strict
can do-
about it.
Yeah, you can do. Well, I mean, you gotta be, otherwise it's pointless.
Well,
Wait, what is the benefits of it?
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the benefits and what kind of cheese are you able to pile onto that delicious meat?
Yeah, the whole idea is you enter like ketosis when you do like a diet like this without carbs or sugar.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it like just burns your fat and your mass. You lose mass. Like burns your like energy stores. And if you get out of ketosis by like eating like sugar or carbs or whatever, it stops doing that. So the whole point is like you can't really like have a cheat day because you gotta like just stay in it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hmm. Are you in?
I don't know, I'm not a
wrong with
nutritionist.
that, other than buying like just steaks all the time or something.
Yeah, it's not bad, dude. I mean, I'm just like less snacky, really. Just like eating steaks, and I bought a rotisserie chicken for $5 today at the grocery store. That's pretty
That's
solid.
actually
Oh,
really
yeah.
cheap.
Nice.
Good time.
I've tried
Yeah,
I've tried the carnivore diet before. Just the carnivore diet, like eggs, bacon, steaks. It's like the easiest diet ever. It's so
Yeah.
if you like meat, it's like, oh, I get to have eggs and bacon and hot sauce. Okay, sure. Oh, I get to have steak for dinner. Sure. Okay, I get to have oysters and lamb meatballs. Okay, let's do it. It's pretty easy.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a rich man's diet, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat.
I
That
suppose.
expensive?
I don't know. Like you fill up faster eating all that
Yeah.
dense meat and protein. So you're not like eating a shitload of food, wasting a lot of money.
You're not allowed to eat any carbs. I can't eat meat without carbs, like rice or French fries or potatoes
really?
and shit like that.
Hard.
It
Yeah,
is
that's hard.
tough, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love some good mashed potatoes with a steak or something, you know? It is
Yeah.
tough. Anyway,
That meat is-
I mean, you can do a little bit of carbs, but you gotta stay under like 50 grams a day or something.
Mm.
So
right. Well, you look
You know,
good,
and a slice
Donnie.
of-
It's working already.
Day 5.
You look great. You look good in red. Mr.
Thank you.
Griffia, how the hell are you, sir? What's
Yep.
going on?
Doing good, just cringing at myself every second of every day.
Cringing at yourself. Are you talking about cringing at your RP? Because the RP's good, brother.
The RP's just me, man.
The RP's pretty good, dude.
That's why it's cringe.
It's cringe because you're not RPing. Oh.
Yep.
Well, that makes me sad inside. Wow. No, it's
Alright.
good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Speaking of RP, Donnie, you might get your wish now. Jay could join you for some Red Dead 2 RP. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
Wasn't that supposed to be a thing
I'll,
anyway? A long time ago?
No, I think we said GTRP. I'll have to hop on Purple RP with him. I'll have to do that for a day.
You should do it.
Join
Yeah,
Jay.
there you go.
I'm gonna do the worst voice. You're gonna be. You thought you were cringing
We'll
before,
do perma
dude.
characters, bro.
Y4mi,
down.
Glock,
How
do you guys
far we
RP
go.
at all? Are you guys in the RP scene?
Not really, no. I have never RP'd in my life,
Mhm.
surprisingly. Only in the bedroom, but like other than that, like if we're doing serious RP, that's
Oh, hey.
That is something that I don't have a lot of experience in. So
What's
yeah, I hope that can.
what's your preferred character to play in the bedroom, dude?
Definitely like Catboy and Mommy Milkers. Yeah, something like a MILF or even a
Th-
GILF. Honestly, who knows?
I thought you were
You
gonna
played
say
enough.
French maid. I was like, I could see this guy as a French maid for sure. I could see he could pull it off.
How'd you know? You have a good sight.
Glock,
Oh my God.
do you RP at all? Do you RP in the dungeons?
Oh yeah, every once in a while I'll put on the
Okay.
wizard voice of "You do not know what you have done," and then you just zap them to death a bunch, and they're just like,
Oh,
"What?"
shit.
But
I
you know,
like that.
other than like Dungeons and Dragons, dude, I was terrible at Dungeons and Dragons RP. You'd have the DM that had like just pages of things ready, and then you go, "What do you do at the guard?" I was like, "I have no idea." So I just always ended up fighting every single time because I failed every roll. So when they were talking about the GTA RP, I couldn't imagine, dude. Somebody like handcuffing you, it would take way too much work, bro. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I've tried
I mean-
GTRP before, and it is tiring to keep going, to stay in character, to keep going for hours and hours. It's not for me, but get on you if you enjoy doing it, you know?
The inverse of that is like once you like feel like you're part of the community, right? On like a good RP server, right? It is addictive. Like people will put in second job, like second full-time job kind of hours
It's
into
crazy.
that fucking server. Yeah.
So isn't
I
that
mean,
like the thing from The Office where like Dwight like loses himself in the second life? Aren't you
Basically.
afraid
I
that
mean,
you'll
yeah,
spend
it's-
like too much time in that?
it
They
can
don't
be,
call it a
yeah.
Second Life for no reason. Then
That's
No,
terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause real life, I'm fucking Joe Schmo at my computer, but in the game, I'm fucking drug dealer dude, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking Donnie's here," you know what I mean?
Dream.
It can definitely,
If only I could be
Yeah.
a drug dealer in real life, Donnie.
I'm driving like awesome cars. I get respect, So some people get really into it, and yeah.
Well, anyway, we're here to talk about Dark and Darker, and specifically Y4mi and Glocktain as well as Dark and Darker. So why don't we start with you, Glock? How did you discover the game? Tell us about your content creation journey and how it intersected with Dad and all that fun stuff. Lay it on us. Where you from? All that happy shit.
Iowa, born and raised. Still here.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I go over my the journey a lot, so I'm gonna keep it short just because I'm sure my audience is tired of hearing about it.
Sure.
Saved up a bunch of money, and my friends were we would play Apex a bunch. They refused to play with me unless I would start streaming because they were like those kind of guys, like, "Oh, come on, you can bench more," and they'd throw the plates on. Same kind of people, right?
Okay.
So we were playing Apex. They told me to boot up the stream, otherwise they're not playing. Okay. We end up killing It's Timmy. I didn't know who that was. I just recognized him as another really good player in our lobbies that we would go back and forth. Killed him with, if anyone knows Apex the Point, the Sentinel with the iron sights. Took him down, just a bunch of really good shots. He thought I was cheating, so he watched me. Then I called into work because I had like 200 some people flood my Twitch stream. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, boss, I'm not coming in tonight." And then that's kind of when it started. They were like, "We want to see more of you." I was like, "Okay, what do you want?" They're like, "Do a TikTok." And I was like, "Ah, okay." So booted up TikTok, and then I would just explain to people how I 1v3'd in Apex, and they were just like, "This is amazing. You break it down." Lo and behold, I go through a bunch of different games, just like Spuddy, right? Him and I have been kind of like in the same channels over and over, but his production value is just out the moon, right? You can see the green screen for me right now on a cat cam. Fast forward to Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt, it really takes off. I start doing announcing for those tournaments. I start putting together community things. This has already been happening for Dark and Darker, so I didn't really want to like have 7 tournaments going on at the same time, right? But Blood Hunt, the game, the people at Shark Mob actually said, "Hey, do you want to go to TwitchCon? We've been loving your content." I was like, no, I can't afford to go to TwitchCon. They go, no, we'll pay for you. I was like, I'm not a huge fan of LA. They're like, well, we're talking Amsterdam. So they flew me out to Amsterdam.
Hell yeah.
And I played Blood Hunt for them, and I like talked to the game developers and all that stuff because they knew I'd work with them on this cycle. So a couple other games. Sadly, neither of the games listen to me, but hopefully we'll get to that soon. It's one of those things where I've been flowing over the world. I've been playing games, full-time streamer. The TikTok basically paid my bills, and now I've just been hopping from game to game. And now we're here at Dark and Darker, and it's just been my buddy. This was just one game. My buddy goes, "Hey, do you want to play this game with me?" I was like, "Sure." insta heroin. Oh my god,
Yeah.
just couldn't stop it. And now we're
Absolutely.
stuck in the plus 30 true damage meta. So that's what I'm hopefully here to talk about. But I'll let Y4mi take the floor here. That's pretty much where I am.
I actually
Beautiful
wanted to
story. Beautiful.
ask you something before we move on. You said TikTok pays the bills. Does TikTok have good like monetization for creators?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. So when I was in the Rainbow Six, I won't dabble on it too much because it's improper to talk about finances, right?
Yeah.
I would say, oh, dude, it's so easy to rage bait, right? So you just throw in like one or two errors and you say like, so the character's name is Nook, call it Knock. You get 70 some comments of going, it's actually not pronounced that way. You get paid per interaction. If it's over a minute long, how long do they watch, all that kind of stuff. And so if you go and look at my TikTok, I've got a couple of them that were like over 1 million views. I'd get paid like $4,000 for one of those
Oh my
TikToks that hits
God.
1 million.
Wow.
What?
It's insane. And
Interesting.
so the CPM, I think it's like, it was like $1 per 1,000 views, right? And then they would just skyrocket up. Oh, sorry, no, it was $1. It was around $1.50 per 500 or some shit like that. But anyway, regardless, it was the most money I've made in the entirety of content creation. But now with Dark and Darker, I don't really know where to go with that. So my audience has been keeping me up, like Fat W. I'm a 50 viewer Andy, right? And they've just been keeping me up, right? But I'm very curious as to the future of Dark and Darker because if it's not a game like Apex, League of Legends, or Rainbow Six, things that everybody knows, I'm not sure because the CPM fell off drastically when I stopped making Rainbow Six content
Yeah.
because nobody knew what Dark and Darker was.
Sure.
So
Hmm.
that's where it kind of like fell off. But yes, in short, it depends on the audience, right?
Wow, I didn't know it monetized. I was always under the impression like TikTok was just a good way to like promote everything else.
Oh yeah, you know Guth?
Yeah.
He was another like 40, 50 viewer Andy around my size. He actually
Mhm.
stopped streaming Dark and Darker because when he got onto the TikTok content, he's like, dude, this is so much better. I was like, if you're just in it for money, yeah. And he was like, oh, well, I got bills to pay. I can't. I was like, dude, go get it. Chase your dream. And dude's living his best life right now. Big ups to Guth if you're out there. But it can happen for anybody as long as you understand short form content and how to like keep people's hooks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know CPM was
Sure.
that good on TikTok either. Learn something new every day. Wow,
Me neither.
that's cool.
I'm trying to TikTok, dude.
Y4mi, please. Same question and rundown for you.
I used to professionally figure skate for the Philippines, and on my
Wow.
off time, I would play video games. And I was like, I'm wasting a lot of time playing video games. Might as well like put something into it, right? So I bought a camera one day, and then I started streaming this like old game called Darwin Project, and I got like a good amount of views, or like yeah, a good amount of viewers, and I was like, maybe I should like start more like investing into streaming. So that happened, and then I had to quit figure skating because I had like a really like crazy injury. Not crazy injury, but an injury that like kind of made me want to quit figure skating. So I stopped that, and I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? Because I didn't go to college. I put everything in figure skating. Might as well put it into something. So I started streaming full time. At the time, it was Valorant that was like really popular. So I started streaming Valorant, and then I like was at the time I was also doing TikTok like vlog, but it wasn't at like the same amount of like popularity. Um, it did boost me to Twitch partnership, but then I would say like my viewers declined because I just wasn't really happy with Valorant. Like whenever I play Valorant, like I wasn't happy at all. So I was like thinking, my friend introduced me to a game called Dark and Darker. I was like, this game is like actually so unique, and it's never like a game that I never played before. And I actually like really enjoyed it. Like even though I died and had to restart, like this shit is like so fun. I want to play it more and more. So I streamed Dark and Darker. I only got like 23, 30 viewers. I was like, okay, maybe if I like put myself into YouTube, maybe, I start getting more retention. So I just put out YouTube like for fun, and that got like a good amount of views, and I was like, maybe I should just start posting every day, see where it goes. So I told myself, post every day. You got nothing going for you. Might as well do something. and now I'm
Nothing
here.
going
So
for you.
You're at rock bottom.
I'm like, seriously, like I can't figure skate. I didn't go to college for anything. I wasn't really interested in education into anything. So I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it, might as well put into streaming. So now I'm
I've
here.
got this beautiful gaming PC and this awesome equipment and this light speed internet connection in this house. I've got nothing going for me. What am I gonna do?
Be a streamer.
No, that's
Bro, my
awesome.
chat says no wonder he's always got that movement. I had no
Yeah, you're
idea you
playing
were a
games too much.
professional.
How long did
Well-
you figure skate for? Like, how young were you when you started?
I started when I was 8, and then I ended around 21. So like around 12, 13 years.
Can you do a triple
That's crazy.
axle?
Yeah, I
So
did it like
basically,
back in the day.
Wow.
don't ever fuck with the ice skate. Got it.
Yeah, and the ice cameras. That's where I live. Actually,
You
you
get,
do
like,
not
a
want to
bunch
face
of
me
buff.
there.
That's
Yeah.
So
awesome.
the Iron Lotus.
Yeah.
Is that really banned? Was that was that a real?
Yeah, you can't do that.
document?
You'll be you'll be sent straight to jail. I'm sorry. You
That's
cannot
hilarious.
do that.
I knew it.
Ice skating, that's cool. So
Yeah.
even though you got injured, can you still slap on some skates and zoom across the ice and jump and shit and impress the ladies and whatnot?
I don't know, impress the ladies, but I'm impressed the guys maybe, but like, yeah, I could do that.
Okay,
Alright.
I respect that, brother. Hell yeah.
I feel like you get some chicks from figure skating.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
absolutely.
actually, like
Yeah, you
there's
can get
the
anyone.
ratio between women to males in figure skating is like 10 to 90. So like you're surrounded by like all the females. So
Okay,
it is
Yeah.
pretty nice back then.
all
I don't know
right.
why Amy's capping.
Yeah, I
bro.
mean,
He-
speaking of-
I told him this a million times, bro. He's the new gen of Asian fuckboy.
Nah,
Okay.
Now those days are
You
over.
just
I
have
used to.
great hair.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the hair looks
You
good.
do have fuckboy tier hair. I will say, like you've got such good hair that I'm like, fuck this guy.
I was thinking about
those
going
days
bald
are
then.
over. How old are you, Yami?
I'm 25.
Oh, the good days are behind you. You're basically dust.
And
Yeah, I know,
Glocktain
so-
looks like the young son of Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, we got two
see that.
two good looking stallions on the podcast tonight. I love it. Yami, weren't you on a Twitch dating show too? Give us the rundown.
Oh
on that
yeah.
shit. Come on, drop
I don't
it
know
on
if you
us.
guys know
There you
Sup
go.
Caitlyn. She's like what's it called? Like a very popular like female streamer that does a lot of like dating shows and other type of content.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
she came to I was playing Valorant one time and she came to my chat. She's like, "Do you want to be contestant in a dating show?" I was like, "Okay." So there was like one girl and then there's like 12 other guys and then we just had to like fight for her love or some shit like that. We had to go through multiple different rounds. I got booted out first round. I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, okay, shit."
Rigged.
And then Caitlyn felt so bad for me that she gave me my own show. So I entered another show, but I was the guy, like the solo guy, and there was like 12 girls.
so you're figure
then,
skating all over again.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So she made her own dating show and
no,
gathered.
no, it was for her
12
sister. It was,
Oh,
it was
okay.
for her sister.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
better. I was about to say, you got
Yeah.
like, all right, Bush,
Yeah.
come back. That's interesting.
That'd be actually
How
fucked
is
up.
it? Is it legit or is it all just like?
Oh
you
no, it's
know,
all for
the
content.
views?
Also all for
Okay.
content. Like the
Yeah.
girl I picked, like we played Valorant like once, and then that was pretty much it. Like she was all the way from Australia. There was nothing
Yeah.
going on over there. I
Now,
didn't
the real
expect it
question-
either.
The real question, Yami, is what character did you pick? You had one shot.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you blow it?
because
Did you pick Jet?
no. So basically, every girl can pick love or host, right? So they have
Mm-hmm.
a secret intention. The girl I picked love, so it
Aw.
was like yeah, it was pretty good.
It was
Like,
meant
I
to
picked
be.
a good choice. Yeah, but
That's
it wasn't
adorable.
meant to be. So yeah.
But she
Some
lied.
Beautiful love story.
Yeah, basically she lied. Actually, I'm kidding. Yeah.
She's like, this guy sucks at Valorant. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I'm
guy.
gonna tell him it's a distance thing and get away from this.
Yeah, this guy's supposed to carry me. He's supposed to be radiant.
I used to see that Austin guy. He used to do that show. I used to watch that.
Austin,
sometimes.
yeah.
Austin show, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Remember
it was
he used to be
good content.
Raj. Didn't he, like,
Raj,
he
yeah,
used
and then he
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
went
Raj
to
Patel.
Austin, yeah.
Yeah.
He used to like
Mm.
pretend to be an Indian man.
Yeah.
And then there was, like the era of cancel culture, and he was like, maybe I should quietly change the channel
Yeah,
of my
transition.
name and get away from
Yeah.
this, which is
Yeah.
probably a good idea for him. But yeah, some of his streams are really fucking entertaining. So, speaking of entertaining, Dark and Darker, it feels like the game is sort of back to the basics. Would you all agree with that now that multi-classing is gone and the dust of that has settled a bit? Feels like it's just back to the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's like kind of stale right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like they gave us a shot of this drug that like made everything better with not everything better, but like everything like accelerated with multiclassing, and then they just didn't give it to us anymore when they took it away. I feel like they should have added more content to it when they took multiclassing away.
Hmm.
In my personal opinion, at least.
Added something in as they took something away, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
like replacement.
Yeah. That's a fair statement. Yeah. What do you think, Glock? Game feeling good now that it's kind of back to its vanilla flavor with multi-classing gone?
Well, the big thing that I really cared about, right, and I tried to really push it to people, was the clarity of the game came back. Multi-classing, you
Yeah.
had no clarity. So ranged is such a hot button issue, but at the same time, you were not able to really play ranged unless that melee player was bad. Between rage and sprint, or an insane amount of action speed on anything from action surge, you could not tell what resources they had until it was too late. I constantly was getting mowed down by 350 movement speed Bardishes. That shouldn't be a thing, right? Like they were
Yeah, it's pretty
negating
bad.
a negative 45 movement speed weapon, the downside of the weapon entirely.
Right.
So I'm glad that we're back to what the game is, because clarity is very good. It makes it so you enjoy and you don't feel like you're getting cheated. But Y4mi's 100%
Yeah.
right. They released multi-class as if it was fully thought out, fleshed out idea. And I was talking about this on stream today. When they did this, you can look through the patch notes. These weren't like, go have fun. They were, here's our next step. Let's do some incremental changes back. What they should have done was just release it all, because they acted like it was, they had no idea. They said, just break the game, right? But instead of giving us all of the toys and all of the leeway, they completely bottlenecked it. So where metas were found, people did not want to reroll, people didn't want to experiment, and they took how long to get rid of multi-class? So then at that point, so many people felt burnt out, and that's where we are right now. We had so much stimulation consistently and stress. Now we're in the burnout of Darker. That's why the play count dropped after it was gone. Not that they're not leaving because it's gone. They just happen to be leaving, and they're like, okay, well, we'll wait for the next big thing. Oh my God, I have to take a break. Like, look at even the big streamers, the RPers, the other RPers, more RPing again. But so I do agree with Y4mi. They needed to add something so that way it didn't go from overstimulation to nothing.
Yeah, well said. I think Iron Mace is pretty, I mean, as someone that works there, Iron Mace is aware that, multi-classing was received in a certain way, that it needed to be removed, that the game needed to go back to the state it's in now. And I don't think like Terry and SDF are under any disillusion that the game is kind of at a stale point right now, that some cooking needs to be done, right? So as long as
but
people
that's
can
the
be patient,
thing.
it'll be fine. That's just how
The
it
thing
is at
with
this
all
current
these
point in the wave.
Seasonal extraction games, you always have like 2-3 months where it's kind of meh. Like nobody. I mean, it's the same thing with Tarkov right now. The only reason anyone's talking about that is because they tried to scam everyone for $100. But yeah.
So HR versus norms. So now that multi-classing is gone, and honestly, there's probably only like 4,000 or 5,000 people playing right now. Especially with only so many weeks left in the wipe and multi-classing being taken away with nothing to take its place. Where are you guys having the most fun right now? Just across the board, everybody. Are you guys enjoying norms more, HR more? And now that multi-classing is gone and you're back to the basic classes, what class have you been playing the most? Let's start with Jay Griffia.
I already forgot the first part. Not gonna lie.
Norms, HRs, like
Oh,
how are you enjoying the
yeah, I
game?
got
What
it.
did you go back to class-wise?
I would say the most fun for sure is norms, but it's only good for like an hour or two, and then I don't know. After a while, you slaughter one too many lambs, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe the player count is dropping a little bit, per Timmy you slaughter. But I don't know.
Okay.
I went back to Wizard. I don't know. not really feeling it again. I don't know why. I thought I would be like super excited to play Wizard, but I've been playing a lot of Rogue lately.
Rogue. Wow.
I'm back on that one.
Just parry, pickpocket parry, or are you actually like doing some combat
No, I
rogue
was going for
riposte
like
shit?
AP.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to get some demigod, getting closer. You gotta think the rewards are coming out any day, right? So
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
I don't want to be like super far from demigod if they're actually good.
Sure, makes sense. Donnie, have you played recently, Donnie? Mr. Casual?
Yeah, I've come back. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy the game with multi-classing because I just didn't want to put the time into, kind of like Glocktain said, like they bottlenecked it, and so it was just like, oh fuck. I feel like it was like a content creator's wet dream because you could literally just create endless content. But for somebody like me who wants to play the game for like an hour or two, a couple days a week, like it was just miserable. So I didn't really play that much. But now that it's back, yeah, been questing. I probably should get on the AP grind because how long do we have until they release the rewards till the end of season?
There's
I
like
don't- I don't
2.5
know.
weeks left of the white, bro. I don't know. It's a good
Kind of
question.
soon,
Yeah.
probably. Hopefully.
Probably
You might as
should
well
get
just
on
not.
at least Path. I mean, I could get Pathfinder in like 3 days. It's not bad at all.
You can do it
Wait, do we have
relatively
an actual
quickly.
time?
Oh, you could do it now. It's like so empty.
No,
Yeah, you can do it right now.
Yeah.
we have no time.
Yeah. Might as well hit Pathfinder. But I mean, yeah, just norms really. I just played norms all wipe. I haven't really wanted to mess with high roller, especially with multi-classing. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get dumpstered by some guy with Iron Will and fucking what's the barbarian ability that takes
Robust.
away
Oh, never mind.
robust and then fucking savage roar. As soon as I go into melee, they're gonna hit me with savage roar. So I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fair enough. On
But
fighter,
I'm playing fighter.
Yeah.
Fighter. I tried playing some warlock. Warlock's been fun too, but I'm kind of ass at it. I'll be honest with you.
Mr. Glock, same question.
I've been having the most fun in 299. Like, it's just been so nice. I don't know if you guys have peeked in to see me going red in the face about rogues. Over 300, bro. I tried. So I played one game of 300 offline. The only thing I ran into, I looked around. It was just 4 rogues. Just standing there.
Oh, yeah.
all of them running cutthroat, bro, at like 150 or 160 HP. I'm like, bro, what's the fun of it? I didn't see a single soul the entire game. I was terrified. Like it's not even like, I'll have some chatters that say, "Oh, this is just Timmy slaughter," and then I'll have someone b hopping as they use the force knockback shots as they're like using the glitch of the arrows to go into the wall and place a trap on it. I'm like, no, it's not. It's just getting away from the one-shot gear. I'm just sick of, oh, well, that guy had +2 true magic, +3 health rings, and then he also had the necklace of peace, +1 all attributes, +3 true magic damage. And I can literally just hover my mouse and see like hundreds of thousands of gold. And I'm like, dude, I'm just not good enough. Like, I'm very okay with saying I'm just not good enough to like deal with multiple of that, especially when the warlocks have 60% magic resist. Now, I mean, it's just a wizard thing, but that's what I enjoy. And so going into these 299s, I literally just got to 1 HP because I misplayed against like a Timmy fighter. Like, it's still on the break point of a skill issue, right? But that's, for me, that's where I find the most fun, because I don't find that many people rocking +15 true damage on a survival bow. There's a couple, but they only have 90 HP because they can't build that much. So that's where I'm having the most fun personally.
Okay.
299s.
Yeah, I have to agree with Glock. I've been playing duos actually instead of solos under 299. And I think that's when the lobbies are actually the most full. Like I play over 300, it's just like Glock said, all rogues. And then just people playing like very passive. But in under 299 in duos, like everybody is just going for fights, which I really like about it. So yeah, that's where I've been.
What classes are you playing mostly?
Oh, I've been playing a lot of Ranger actually lately. With Survival Bow and Forceful Shot. And then I've been playing a lot of Bard too. Yeah, Bard and Ranger.
Yeah. I think the 299s are the most full, right? Even normals are kind of dead, which
Yeah.
I've always said one thing. I'm like, man, the day normals aren't filling, and then I would be worried. And that day has definitely come.
Yeah.
Send a wipe.
I don't know. I've been playing HR and norms, and mostly norms though, just experimenting with builds. And we always have fun every single run. We always have a pretty full lobby on US
How do you
West, US
experiment?
East.
Oh, sorry. How do you experiment with builds and norms? I don't feel like there's enough build variation to actually get like a good sense of anything. That's why HR is usually like the place to go for a lot of people.
No, that's fair. Obviously, you want to see, more power attached to the shit that you're trying to test out. But I'm just talking about testing out different perk combos, different abilities, wonky shit. I've been enjoying just playing Soul Collector, Demon Form Warlock, melee only lock, and norms, shit like that. Just stuff you wouldn't typically play in HR. Like HR, you want something that's optimized. You want a buff ball. You want to play with a ranger with forceful shot or something like that. You're going to stick to a certain comp. But norms, it's just fucking norms. Who cares, right? So I'll go in with demon form. and I'm having a lot of fun. Not sweating at all. Not that I can get as sweaty as you guys, but once in a while I do enjoy the sweat in HR. But for the most part, I'm still, like, all these months later, just mostly enjoying norms. But at the same time, I understand that the game is in a bit of a lull and that we're at the end of the wipe. There's not a lot of people playing. It's kind of quiet right now, which is fine. So I don't mind just dicking around in norms and not, trying to push something crazy in HR.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, because like we hop on the podcast every week, and you guys play this game all the time for your job and whatnot. Like, we love to be dramatic. We're like, oh my god, the game's dying, but it's not. This is every like end of wipe game. Like it's always dead as fuck. Like, people come back. You just gotta have more content. So.
There's definitely some big things as why people left this wipe, but I do think the
yeah.
game's actually in a pretty good spot. I don't think it's bad or anything. I think people are just they've done it all many, many times over, I think it just really need like a big patch or two. But otherwise, the game's pretty solid, in my opinion.
Feels a lot better to play. The consistency is way better. Go ahead, Clocktail.
I was gonna say, falling off of Jay's thing is just we need new. I think the thing that's ruining it, because Y4mi touched on it earlier, game's getting stale. I'm really sad that a lot of the recent patches have just been numbers, right? Oh, Rupture does this much damage. Magic Missile now does this much damage. This is your knowledge scaling. This is how much like arc the serve bow has. I really want to see innovation that comes from new functionality as opposed to just tweaking what we have. I think that would help a lot of the gameplay. I think if the ice caves, the reason I have it, like the ice is the background, is because I've just been loving the ice caves. I was watching Spuddy. Exactly. I was watching Spuddy and he was just like, it's the best design map. And on every single class, you can have fun in the ice caves. If you're a cleric, you can drop on people with smite. You can close the gaps really well. You can use multiple skills, right? Barbarian, those doors mean nothing. Getting through all the mobs feels fantastic. Wizard, you can actually like play around rangers because there's actual poles. There's mobs that will spawn up into different areas, but it's still an open area. Fighter, you can close the gaps so well. I feel like they really hit their stride on ice caves, and I think in this next wipe, when we get the ice caves lower level, because you guys all played that, right? The like beta of that with the wyvern.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of people coming back to actually try that out. But if they don't do any new functionalities, such as like, I personally think they need to do like different movement speed or different like scaling for each different class to keep them unique. Because otherwise, are you really playing rogue or barbarian if you're at 180 HP? Are you really playing a wizard if you can get your strength up to 30? Like, that's really what I want to see. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I guess we can move into like the next big question for everyone here is what do you think is the most important thing that Iron Mace needs to put into the game for Dad to have a bit of a comeback? Like, what do you think is the most important thing that could help Dark and Darker out right now? And I'll start with a really solid progression system and some sort of character progression system. So something to do in game, you're progressing, but also as I'm doing that, I want to progress my character and my class in a certain way as well. So a really cool progression system, something deeper than questing, right? And something like subclassing, something that will give me something to do and tinker with my character. I think something like that is what Iron Mace needs to consider for player retention and whatnot for the future. Anyone? I mean, I'm sure you guys probably all agree with that, but does anyone have anything different? Any other thoughts on that? Y4mi?
You know, I watched.
Jay?
Sorry, I'm jumping.
No worries.
Jump in.
I watched yesterday. So yesterday I was off. I was chilling with Ken. He wasn't streaming or anything. We are just vibing.
Oh, you guys had a little Discord date?
Yep. I saw this guy. It was titled "First Playthrough Ever." So I was like, "Yo, Ken, let's check this guy." I never like really watched someone like first time play it. Yeah, that guy was struggling, bro. So I kind of think that I never thought the game needed a tutorial or anything. I don't know if he was just, maybe he just struggles or whatever. But sorry, my Discord's tripping. But yeah, he did not do anything. He didn't look at his class, he didn't look at his perks. He didn't check out the merchants, never got any quests. He was like, how do I open my inventory, even though it says tab up on the top left? He's like, how do I pull out my potion, even though it's on the bottom right? So I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe just like a little intro just to like get familiar with it would probably go a long way.
I agree.
Because the guy all he was doing was loading in, pulling like 4 mobs and instantly dying, and then going back over and over.
Poor bastard.
But, just maybe something to help you. Like, he didn't even know the Squire, right? Like, the Squire gives you heals. If you're a fighter, you can put on like a plate chest or something. Maybe just something to point you at it and just walk you through would be like really good and onboard new players. I never thought it would have needed that until I read that guy. So
That poor bastard.
A little bit.
Poor little Tim.
Yeah.
Okay.
But first time player, you don't want to discourage them from even trying to attempt the game because maybe it's not so intuitive, really.
Yeah, I feel like the game is pretty intuitive. It's just,
That's what I
if
thought.
you hop in right now and you try to play normals and you've never played the game, you're gonna get fucking stomped by people that just played normals.
I don't
all the
think he
time.
saw a single player.
Really?
Oh, shit.
Poor
No,
bastard.
he didn't make it that far ever.
Oh,
in the time I was watching.
Okay, he
got rocked.
Which
Okay.
is whatever, that's fine. But I'm just saying it would have helped maybe if he knew what his second win did, or his sprint did. And
It wasn't
that might
pressing
be, like,
keys?
user error is all. It might have just been user error.
mix
but
of both.
I think the one thing to get from that is that maybe a little something, to guide your way.
For all types
No,
of
like a-
brain. Yes.
If you could go into the dungeon on your own and like do like a practice run, I think that'd be great. Even if they just want to do that, that'd be fantastic. I think I got a hot take about like a new thing I'd like in the game. I kind of want like a melee rework. I'm getting a little tired of just holding the W key and spamming left click on people. That's I don't know. I feel like right now melee is just all about like who can get the right distance to get the first hit in, and then just spam your fucking attack till they die. And
To some degree, I guess. So, I mean, spacing
alignment.
definitely matters for sure. Always.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
just
that
like,
Biggie
"Ooh,
packs off of
ooh."
Jay.
What's that?
I think that Biggie piggybacks off. The game is so hard. That's what melee becomes because it is such a huge skill difference. Like, imagine trying to just like, oh, I got the first hit. Now I'm just gonna swing. Imagine doing that to Jay. It's probably just gonna block one of your hits, right? Use a
If
buckler.
you can.
Exactly. Shriek a weakness. Like, there's so
You ever
many
tried
like
a shield, bro? Sorry.
No, I don't touch
Not
the
great.
stuff. I just
Not
sell it.
great.
But that's another thing that kind of goes into that, right? If we had a tutorial, like I still have people that have come to my stream and they have no idea what will does. They don't realize that's how you can like build magic power, right? They have no idea how to actually do more damage other than additional magic damage. I think it would go a long way to have a tutorial, even if it's something as simple as like a voiceover that's like, welcome. This is where you'll first start your journey. And it's like, it just goes to the Squire. It doesn't even have to be like an Apex Legend tutorial, right? Where they walk you through with Pathfinder. It doesn't have to be any CG. It doesn't have to be a free entrance. Just explaining and clear. Dude, we still don't have a stats page that works with your weapons. Like, you can have the longsword and see, oh, that's what my R2 does. So many people don't know what a parry is in this game. Like, they don't make it that far. They don't even know what second wind does. I think the tutorial is a great option because I think you would love melee a lot more. But when I talked to Skinny Pete about this, he doesn't want the melee to get too far, too advanced. The skinny skip, when he
Sure.
found that and brought it to my stream and we did all that stuff,
Yeah.
he didn't want it to become Mordhau because that becomes a whole can of worms.
It's really extremely hardcore.
That's when a game could easily die, because if
Yes.
there's 4 or 5 people that figure out how to do the melee, nobody's touching them. Right now, you
Right.
can still get gapped. It's like, well, I still messed up my positioning. But
Right.
I think the biggest thing would be tutorial, just to explain just the extrinsic things, the values of the game.
You know, I played a Arena Breakout, and they do like force you to like go through all the menus and stuff, which, you know, I think I'm smart to figure out. I was gonna say is that it puts you into like a raid where I believe there's no player, and it's not like it tells you or anything. It's just like, here, we're gonna fire you into your first raid, and like you get teammates with matchmaking and stuff. But there's no players, and you just like go through the map, and you know, it's basically like a trial run. I don't think that's like a bad thing at all. To have like
No.
your first raid, you know,
Yeah.
be like just a PvE raid, just to get
Yeah.
you familiar or whatever.
I don't think you should force people to
Because
do
you
it,
are-
but
You are right, Donnie. You run into one player, like if you were to play right now for the first time in normals and you ran into one player, my man's probably not even gonna hit you. You know what I mean? Like you're not touching
Yeah.
that guy.
Y4mi, you're the last guy.
I think they should definitely make a tutorial, but also keep the hardcore the aspect of it, because I know Dark and Darker is like I like the game because it's difficult. I don't think we should like spoon feed new players to a full extent. Maybe like a really basic tutorial and just explaining like everything, but definitely keep the hardcore aspect for sure.
Well, I don't think like showing how the menus and stuff work, you know, makes it not hardcore or anything. It's more so just quality of life.
It could be like you
Yeah,
go in as a
yeah.
level 1 character and it just highlights certain buttons. Like
Yeah,
this is the merchant, click this. This is where you buy a potion, click here. It could easily be implemented, I'm sure. Take a little bit of
Sure.
work, but no, I agree. I mean, if the Tims of today are just hitting play and not even checking their inventory or the squire merchants, they don't even know how to hit E or Q to activate sprint or something like that. Maybe it's time for some Fisher priceification, you know?
yeah.
Help these poor
Well,
kids out.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
We're all, I would say, fitting the niche in Darker right now. We really like, I doubt either 4 of you would say you like to have your hand held. I don't. That was one of the main attractions of this game, right? Like I was picking up Ranger. I didn't know how to use my traps for like a week, right? But then when I figured out what they did, I saw like a stream and I saw, it holds them in place. Are you kidding me? That'd make it so much easier. That click is huge. What do you guys think would happen if the tutorial was too strong or too heavy-handed? Would that hurt the game and its identity? Or how do you guys feel that like about that kind of situation?
I just don't really see how it's like it hurts anything. I don't see how there's any negatives, truly. Just to like show
Yeah.
you how to play the game, at least on the the most basic of levels.
I think maybe the entire tutorial is just in the menu system. Like whenever you hit
Yeah,
the
sure,
character
sure.
tab, it highlights your skills in the bottom. It highlights how to drag a perk over to an empty square. Everything is done in the menu. And then it says, all right, now you have seen everything there is to do in the menu. Go play your first raid. Good luck, adventure. You're about to get your ass kicked, kind of a thing.
Yep.
And then,
Yeah.
let people, live and learn in game. That's how I
They'll
would
still
do it.
die to the first skeleton. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that'd be perfectly fine. And of course, there's some guy going, yeah, let's have Iron Mace work on a tutorial over 6 months instead of the rest of the game. It's not gonna take them 6 months
No, and
to put
yeah.
a fucking text prompt like, hey, this is how your class works, so relax.
Yeah, the
But-
entire ship doesn't have to turn toward tutorial to get that thing out. A couple of
No.
people at the company would work on that, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that is a good point. Like, we don't need a crazy tutorial. Just give people information. I don't think there's no such thing as too much. Well, I guess there is a little bit while you're playing the game. But if you're looking through the menus and whatnot, there's no such thing, in my opinion, as too much information available to you as far as like where how much you hit, how many stats you have, blah blah blah, or like what this does, what that does. So
And even like Glock was saying, just like forcing you to put your mouse over the stats on your character sheet, like Will, that explains it when you mouse over.
Mhm.
Just forcing them to do that, just boom, answers probably a billion
Yeah.
questions.
But also make the
Truly.
tutorial optional. Like if I don't want to do
Right.
that shit, let
Sure,
me
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
bust my head against the wall.
I'm gonna go fuck around with the Tauros demon. I'm gonna take this club and see how far I get. You're that kind of
Yeah.
player, aren't you, Donnie? Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, sometimes. Trust me. I was playing Fallout 4 recently, and I feel no matter how you feel about Fallout 4, I think that game is mid as fuck. I was doing all of this quests. It was like collect 25 of these starboards, and I was like, starboard location, Fallout 4 Nuka World. All right, thank you, IGN. I'm not doing this shit. But yeah, I mean, games like Dark Souls, games like Dark and Darker, where you can really kind of go out there and explore, and it's unforgiving. Like it's so satisfying to figure it out on your own.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I will say this is pretty good for getting players in the game. How we make them stay.
Progression systems, some sort of loop, something to work towards. That's how you retain people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
Partly.
obviously we bring this up. I think I bring it up every fucking podcast is Escape from Tarkov. But I mean that is like the most successful at like player retention in my opinion. Like
it's
that
the
game,
flagship and the father of the genre. Let's be real, right?
yeah. And so you just got to ask yourself like, what are they doing to retain players? Like, why the fuck do I want to go get Kappa container in Tarkov when that is literally if you have EOD or whatever, which most players do. Like, why am I spending 200 hours in Tarkov to go get EOD, which is going to give me fucking 3 more slots in my butt? Like, that's not really what it is. Like, it's really like, why am I spending all this time like to swag out and flex on people and like show them, So you just got to figure out what your Kappa container is, and that's what Dark and Darker's got to do. Like, what is that progression that makes people fucking like ticks their lizard brain?
Right.
I'm curious. How would you guys feel? So the quest system, people in my chat are talking about like, well, the quest system is just ass. Like it's not even fun to do. It's a chore. I don't want to have to go try to kill Cyclops if you get that far after collecting how many Wendigo talons or whatever it is. What if the quests were simply built around the functions of the game? So we don't want to heavy hand them. We want these Timmies to figure out these things about the game that works. Iron Mace has shown us that they like how we play. This isn't Super Smash Bros. Nintendo doesn't hate us, right? If Iron Mace starts making the quests less about, you have to get this item, you have to get 74,000 of this item, and they start making it block 3 hits with your shield, or run 1,000 meters with sprint, heal so much HP with second wind in one fight.
That's fun. Yeah,
I actually like that a lot better.
What about hit so many headshots with Ice Bolt, or break down so many doors with Barbarian? Could be simple as that, right? But getting you into the cognitive rhythm of the game would be very essential to actually keeping them, because to get to people like us, we're very solid at the game, right? To get to this point, you have to stick with it. And there was, for a while, money was the only reason we stuck with it. I've seen every single one of us rage at it and literally just turn off the stream. I've seen every single one of us do it. But for those people, they didn't stick through that large obstacle. I think just giving them the function, the increase in that, would probably be the best way to keep them there. What do you guys think about that?
I like those quest ideas. Yeah, I think it'd be way more fun. Because right now, I mean, obviously, when questing first dropped, it was just to see if the shit worked, right? And now they're testing the next iteration of questing. Like, how do we add in more chapters? How do we continuously pump out quests in our quest system periodically throughout a wipe cycle and make sure it stays engaging? Well, all that stuff works. So now let's make the quests fun, right? Like some of the quest ideas you were saying, or some of the quest ideas I've said in previous episodes, where you have to go and do a certain map and get a certain item and bring that looted item into another map and set it on a pedestal, which opens something up that you can grab or something like that. Some semblance of a quest chain, something that makes you go to a point of interest or something like that. Or blocking 3 attacks or sprinting 500 meters or whatever. All those types of quests I think are way more fun. way more engaging, and I hope that the folks within the company are considering those kind of quests. I don't know, but I hope so.
All those months you talked about so much, it'd be so cool to like go in the dark library, read the scripture out of the book, and then read the scripture down to hell, and then read the scripture again.
I don't know the
Can you make that
scripture
happen
talk,
because you
but
work
okay.
there now. I don't know, man. I was just rolling with it. Can you
Well,
just
The
make
Spy
that happen or
Guardian.
what?
It's getting to him.
Yeah. Where the fuck is the spike? Can you confirm that, by the way? But like, where's the fun? Where's the fun quest? And Glocktain literally just listed off like 15 Tarkov quests. Just copy them, bro. Shamelessly, just do it. They're the best. Why wouldn't
Agreed.
you?
It's
games are copying you.
it's the 21st. I'm 3 weeks into the job, and
Perfect.
whenever you hire a dishwasher, you don't have the dishwasher go into the kitchen and start grabbing a skillet and try to cook, right? Like
But you know
I
what?
was hired
The
to do marketing.
dishwasher's been eating at that very restaurant for the last 2 years. He
No, I
probably
hear
knows
ya.
how damn good the food is.
That's a good analogy.
That's true. I hear you. Yeah, you're right about that. But I just started. I'm here to do marketing stuff. But let me tell you what.
He's gonna do shit.
Now that I'm in the company, though, I 100% say, hey guys, I wrote up this thing with these ideas. You guys should check this out, or this is my thoughts on the game. Because now we're all coworkers, so it's like, all right, I'm going to DM this coworker about this idea, or we should implement this or consider this. Fuck yeah, do that. Of course, but I'm also I'm only a month in though, so I need more time to embed myself.
Ease your way in there.
Yeah, but it's been fun so far. It's a cool company to work at, and I love the job. But I need more time.
I think Dark and Darker should really lean into like the kind of the arcadey aspect of their game, right? Like I don't think anyone's playing this game for medieval realism. I think they're playing it because it's fun to swing a sword and shoot people and do magic spells. So I think like fun mechanics in the map would be cool. Like random events in the dungeon would be a fun thing. Like a roaming mini boss, like Jay's always said. Or
How?
yeah.
Where's the silver elites, bro?
Yeah.
Give me
What
that.
if there's
what I
like a silver goblet in the middle of the map, and if you go and grab it, everybody in the map knows where you are and they can see you like through the wall. But if you get out with it, then you get like some crazy cool loot. That'd be fun. Like just some cool stuff.
So this sounds like end of way activities.
Yeah,
That would be very fun. That sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, but even you could do a beginning wipe. You get like a fucking sick purple for getting it out. Like, everyone in the squad gets a fucking tight purple.
Tight purple.
Just
Okay.
make it a fortune teller
Cool, dude.
quest, or like a
Yeah.
service for that person. I've turned in 2 cursed goblets. I'd like a legendary, please. And they're like, yeah, it has 1 negative, but it has 3 positives instead of just 4 positives.
Yeah,
Like, that'd
lean
be
into the
kinda
fun
sick.
of it.
Yeah.
That could be cool. Yeah.
Like it's a very like arcadey kind of extraction game. So let's do some arcadey shit. Give me some fun objectives on the map. Some random things that can
Okay,
happen.
Donnie. Okay. All right, Donicus.
Hit us up, Yami. What you got in that brain, bro?
Wait, what were we initially talking about? To be honest, are we talking about new stuff that they want to add?
Yeah, go
wish list.
for it.
Go in the game.
Just
Yeah.
riff
I
it, brother.
I don't know. For me, when I play this game, I think about what's fun about it. I like killing players and then getting loot and then getting out. But I would love to have like maybe like I don't know. Asking a lot is like maps and like maybe dude, I want Rena, but that's so shit because like the population of this game is like really low at the moment. I guess I think the gear difference is really high, so I feel like they should definitely like lower the gear difference between like a common to like an epic, because I feel like many times I don't even, like I go 0 to hero and I just get shit on by guys wearing like all perps and stuff like that. I'm just like I feel like that's really discouraging for like newer players.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So, we've seen the Druid on the test server. Eventually, Druid's going to be live. It's going to be fixed. The animal forms will actually do damage because right now they do unarmed damage, just as they were testing the forms. It'll have more spells, more perks, more abilities. Do you guys think Druid will be viable in the games? Let's just say it came out in live tomorrow, fully fleshed out with more spells, and it did real damage instead. It had actual gear you could equip. Do you think it'd be viable? Do you think it works? in the current game, the current lineup of classes? Does it have a place?
Definitely a better
it's
healer than
probably
cleric. Actually, I
Yeah.
think that's a little bit. All the skills are just too OP.
Some of
Yeah,
them
If
are.
they
Marty's
if they
fucking
stay right
broken.
now, yeah.
How do you feel about them dropping like? I feel like the game's gonna be like if Druid came in, I feel like it'd be fine because they hotfix the game every week, so they would just fucking bump it up or down, whatever it needed to be. But
Yeah.
how do you feel about them doing a freaking hotfix like every week on balance? Like I don't think that's productive. You know what I mean? I think like we can have a meta for a month or two.
I mean, if it doesn't like interrupt their like line of work and like the new content coming up, I don't think it's that bad. As long as they like don't fully concentrate on the hot fixes and stuff, that's fine
Yeah.
for me.
But I don't really think a hotfix really adds more to the game for me. It's just like, oh, okay, I guess they bumped that 10 points.
Right.
Yeah, but it kind of fixes like all the OP stuff that's gonna be happening. The obviously OP stuff.
I
Just
would
bump it
say
down and make it more fair.
I would say the balance is probably mostly figured by the top end, you know. Like they spend an hour watching Apollo stream and they're like, that's broken, and then tune it a little bit, you know.
Yeah. But we've had a year of tuning. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It is I bet if like really went through the patch notes, you would realize the same dial has been turned to the same settings for the last 12 times. You know what I mean? It's either you're going on this click or that click, and that's only happened 12 times before. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Eventually, it's just a
Yeah.
little like weird.
Well, from a content creator standpoint, so instructionally, it makes it really hard if they do it every single week. It makes it really hard for newer players because they don't have the same amount of time, right? They only have like an hour or two a week. When I was doing Rainbow Six, there was what was it? There was a season there. It was, I think it was when Fenrir came out. They were constantly changing how his FNAT mines worked. And for those of you who know, you know, there were so many people constantly losing games because of the way 3 gadgets kept getting changed. They eventually just said, fuck it, I'm just going to wait. And so with this, it's so variable with like Rogue Cutthroat, right? Does it actually cleanse buffs? Does it not? Rogue Crossbow, right? Wizard knowledge ramping, Wizard magic's damage scaling, Ignite, the staff masteries, Barb's Savage Roar. There's so much changing week to week. Like I do agree with Jay that like the normal dials of like how much the daggers actually change, those haven't really changed. But the functionalities between player and player, the thing that can be very stressful, I think if it changes too much, I do agree with the idea of like maybe every 2 weeks do a patch.
Yeah.
But like when League of Legends, they don't do that very often because they want you to get comfortable. And if your brain can't get comfortable, you're not going to stick around.
It's also like forcing a meta compared to like just, you know, maybe changing viability to make something else, you know, like actually playable. I'm always weird with like forcing a meta. I feel like the meta should be figured out by players and then sort of tweaked from there, you know. But you shouldn't like slam everybody to this certain class because this other one got nerfed a bit too much, you know.
Yeah, it's a
You go to the
balance.
next thing in line.
Right.
Do you think something's been forced in Dark and Darker? I'm curious.
Yeah, the 2 years straight of Barbarian buff ball, that's pretty fucking forced. And that
Yeah.
explains why it's 90% of trios comps. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm not excited for Druid Rat form, dude. I told chat, I said I'm probably not going to play the game. As somebody who doesn't play a lot of trios or duos, I play mostly solos. I'm not gonna look around for all these fucking rats, dude. Literal rats. I can't do that. That's on you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna have the strength to do that.
Yeah.
What about Buff
like
Ball
a-
Bear? Barbarian's one thing.
dude.
Buff Ball Bear is gonna be a thing.
Maybe they
You
should
know,
add like a
speaking of-
timer for like the animals. You shouldn't be able to like turn into
Instantly
animal for a
switch
very long
between
time.
them.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
like instantaneous. Like I don't know. It's OP.
Well, to touch on what Jay said, I think multi-class, if it showed me one thing, it's how crazy some of the barbarian perks are. Like, if you
Yeah, no
were
kidding.
playing fighter, you're basically a fighter with all barbarian perks and sprint. Like, that's basically what you did.
Right.
Yep.
Hmm.
It was
Okay.
like every class took barbarian perks, and then rogue took everything not rogue perk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little weird time. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
We forgive you.
It's
Okay.
just Q&A.
So,
We're about an hour in.
well, one more, then we'll switch to
Oh, yeah,
Q&A.
go ahead, buddy.
So obviously we have season rewards about to drop. What are you guys hoping to see? What do you think should be, you know, a demigod reward? What would justify the grind? Anyone have any thoughts?
Definitely something better than last wipe, because I feel like the cloak skin was just kind of disappointing for me, at least. I feel
I
like
mean,
they
it
like
looks
kind of
so
advertised it
cool.
wrong, because it looks so cool
Yeah.
with the picture, right? And then when they actually gave it to us, it was just like someone just like came on the cloak, and that was it, or like spilled some paint on it. I don't know, it just didn't even look right. But hopefully this time it's uh maybe like a race or something. That'd be kind of sick. I don't know. For all the people that like got to demigod, that'd be kind of sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that original cloak was a little underwhelming, for sure. I agree.
Got the jizz
Oh.
napkin.
Thought I was
It's
about
so-
to get like a
it's so
galactic
underwhelming.
skin.
What'd you
But
say?
yeah, instead we just got nut. I thought we were gonna
Oh.
get like a galaxy skin, but yeah, it was just nut.
Yeah.
Maybe something that like corresponds to the map that's gonna be released, like Isobis, something like Frozen type. That'd be kind of sick.
Oh,
Yeah. Cool.
What do you think, Gluck?
I've always been a fan of like when they're the progression things. I was always a big fan of I wanted the golden lizard skin because I didn't
Mm.
want anything that was gonna give you an advantage over someone else. I'm really worried about the cosmetics, like the skeletons, the elf skin, the orc skin. I know it's only one strength or whatever and all that, but it's like still kind of I'm still kind of nervous about it.
Yeah, what are we doing with that? Like, why? Like, if it's only one, why are we even doing it? You know?
Because it gets you up out of -5% to 0. And when it's a game of scaling your add true damage,
Yeah.
it's important. And so,
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's okay, bro. It's okay. It's just discussion. Neither one's super right or super wrong. It don't matter to me. But with there's one that the Luffy Taro, I remember him talking about it. He wanted the different colored names. That was important for
Oh,
normies, right? And then I wanted it to be you could do like the different colored like names, or you could have like certain cosmetics for your character where like when you go in to the pre-lobby, you have like fancy hat and fancy mug and stuff. Cause I thought that they were gonna keep the pre-lobby and just make it so you couldn't check inventories and you would have randomized gear on. So that way nobody knew who was bissed out or not. It would just kind of be like, oh dude, look, you're wearing the gold thing. That looks sick. I can't wait to
Mm.
craft that. Stuff like that. Cause you know, there was a moment where Katie came up to me in the pre-lobby. I had no idea who it was. She started hitting me and pulling out the root beer, and she wanted to RP at the tavern. And I was like, "Who is this person? I'm meditating. Get away from me. I'm getting my spells back. I had to check my damage." And I was just being a little sweat lord. I thought it'd be fun stuff like that. Not I'm gonna get a gold bag and all of these meds and this skin that gives me extra PDR. What do you guys feel about that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yummy, Jay?
definitely more like cosmetic side, something that doesn't like propel people who like play the game too much even higher. Maybe I don't know. Like gold coin bags, like if you had like I think back then it was like if you got to a certain rank, Pathfinder or Voyager, you just get a gold coin bag and you just like lump them all into one character and sell them all. You're like already at 30k gold. So that's
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah.
fucked, honestly. Definitely something more cosmetic side, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree that just cosmetics is better, and I'm also in the camp that says, hey, if you want to throw on a black skeleton skin or the high elf or the orc, just let it be a cosmetic, no stat change. That's the camp
Agreed.
I'm in. Like, I don't know. I don't think the skins need any stat adjustments on them. I get why they're doing it. They're like going with like a D&D inspiration kind of a thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
But I'd rather that cosmetics have no stat changes at all. But oh well.
Yeah.
Everyone's running around as the fucking poo orc, looking like an actual like stray turd.
Ugh.
Poor orc.
Well, it's funny. I used to tell people all the time, like, oh, it's one strength, right? It's like 2 health, 3 health, or whatever before the stat changes, and then I remember one time, like immediately after that, I got away from some guy with 1 health. He was like, "Orc skin, huh? Not OP." The only reason I live because I had the fucking orc skin on. I have 1 more health.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a little broken. When it's broken, it's like a clear advantage, you know.
Sure. All right, gents, let's move into chat Q&A. I don't know if anyone else is streaming, Y4mi or Glock. If you guys are live, if you guys have questions in your chats, obviously shout them out. Totally cool. I got my chat up, Jay's chat. Chat, what do you guys got for us? Go for it.
I like that. Give us some torch cosmetics so you can like
Yeah.
inspect them
Oh,
and
yeah, I
flex
like
them
that.
and stuff, you know.
Dude, Torch Gamba, dude. Open my torch box.
Yucky.
Dude, if they come out with like torch gambling boxes, we should start a website, right, guys? Where we promote this gambling website. But we
Uh-oh.
should rig
Ooh.
it for our videos where we
Uh-oh.
get extra good pulls.
That's
This
a
seems like
genius
a
I've heard of that
idea.
original idea.
before.
I'm in.
You're breaking new ground with
pretty
this
original.
idea. I like this. Nice.
Um,
Oh, here we go.
I think-
Avaloy. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's the same question.
Thoughts on Time to Kill?
Yeah, I got one. Multi-class opened my eyes because, like, dude, some of the fights in there, it's like you're just in there fucking beating each other for like 30 seconds straight back in multi-class days, you know, because everyone was just invincible with infinite health. But it did open my eyes, you know. That's pretty crazy for the game to go from 1 or 2 headshots to like 15 before the fight's over, you know.
I like
I
longer
kind of
time
want
to
to see
kill.
more of that.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to see more like straight up mosh pit just brawling out.
Yeah.
Also, it makes you dump all of your spells and stuff, so you're not just like dancing around and holding your charges and killing time and everything.
Yeah, I would like to see
But it felt
increased
good.
time to kill. I mean, I think obviously 1 or 2, 3 hits to kill someone sucks. 15 also sucks. There needs to be a sweet spot in between those two. So like,
Sure.
what is that? 5 or 6 hits, 7 hits? If it's
Yeah, like 5 to 8.
a very, very tanky individual that you're trying to kill, if he takes 8 or 9 hits to take him out because he's wearing a Hound Skull and he's got good PDR or something like that, okay. As long as it's equalized across the board, right? But I think it'd be way more fun. I don't know. Getting rushed down by someone, even if you have like equal gear, let's say, and they jump you, and like a Slayer fighter, you let's say you guys are both in full purples, and a Slayer fighter gets the drop, he can take you out in like 3 hits to the dome pretty quick, depending on what class you are. I think that's kind of if you don't have a chance to recover and fight back and use your class abilities and perks to potentially counter that attack, that kind of blows. Yeah. Time to kill, Glock, Y4mi, Donnie. Is it too fast? Do you guys want to see it slowed down? Is it just right? What do you guys think?
I think that it's right now it's like way too fast, especially when multi-classing is gone now. No one has robust besides barbarian. I think they should just give robust to everybody, to every class. To be honest, maybe tweak it here and there. Definitely was a lot more fun. It showed a lot more skill expression. You definitely don't get like 2-tapped by a rogue back then, which I really do miss. So yeah, definitely need more health to every class.
Glock?
And I just wanted to add
Oh.
on, like, the longer fights also let you, like, you know, dodge
Outplay and
and
stuff,
outplay
yeah.
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Like you don't
yeah.
just die, flop over and die.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the same boat, man.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the things that I'd like to use as an example is probably the Warlock, right? Warlock v Warlock. There are some people out there like, oh, this is so boring. But when you're in it, it's really comes down to who has the best movement. And it's because those spells, the Curse of Pain, doesn't do a lot of damage up front. You have the anti-magic. It's fantastic. Or fighter v fighter, Heater Shield and Falchion versus Heater Shield Arming Sword, or Buckler, Bard, same thing. It's intense. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I've just been saying it over and over with the 299 lobbies. There's just too much damage in the game. It's not fun to lose in 1 or 2 hits. I'd be down to have to use 4 or 5 spells on somebody. 5 big ones, right? Like direct fireballs, explosion, make lightning strike, fucking hit somebody who's jumping. Apollo took all my bis because he jumped my lightning strikes. That was bullshit. GGs, but like bullshit. But I mean, I would rather have that every day than, oh, he closed the gap. Magic missile. Pray to God. I lost. Oh well. GG, go next. Because right now, I think everybody's in the same boat as Jay, Y4mi, Donnie, and you. I mean, we just want to see actual skill expression.
Right. I'm with you. I want to see just the true damage stat in general just removed. Just go bye-bye. Maybe I'm crazy to say it, but I'm saying it out loud.
Go ahead.
I feel like we should try like the no damage patches that they tried back in the day. Like the base stats are so much higher now. You know, you're like a lot stronger just naturally from gear. That maybe they could try getting rid of it.
Yeah.
They would need to tweak a lot of damage.
Void Link Zon Kick says can't have skill expression when everyone's cheating. Are you guys seeing a lot of cheaters? Like I'm not really. Are you guys?
I ran into one yesterday.
Okay.
I couldn't hit him with spells. They would just go through him.
Interesting. Okay.
I haven't ran into any cheaters, but when I like stream, my chat always says they run into cheaters, but I have not experienced it.
Katie says every time I play, like, wow, that's crazy.
Cheaters?
Yeah,
really?
I've been hearing that for weeks, and
No
I
shit.
genuinely still believe people are coping.
Do you think
Straight
it's the
up.
death cam? Do you think it's the
Well,
death cam edition? Because it's not always accurate, right?
Oh, death cams are never good in any game.
Yeah.
They're always off a little bit, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, it makes me wonder, just because given how much I like pickpocket and stuff, and you know, I'm going for like these high roller games, and I'm swooping these crazy people's gear, like you would think if there's really that many cheaters, like I would just be blatantly caught, right? And it'd be like obvious they're cheating. But that just does not happen. Ever.
She did say above 299, by the way, is what she's playing. So
Yeah. Now, if you're gonna talk like that's where the cheaters are gonna be, right? They're gonna be in like the highest of gear lobbies, because if you're gonna cheat, right, like you're probably gonna go for the biggest of stuff because you have
exactly.
every single advantage in the game.
Right.
Which I don't really spend much time up there. So yeah.
Right.
I don't doubt it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's near as bad as people think.
Yeah.
If people keep talking about the bans, I have no faith in that anymore. In all seriousness, just for how many people have been caught permabanned and then unbanned, I have no faith in any of the reporting at this point.
Like Skinny.
Just on a side note.
Wait, Skinny Pete get permaban?
Well, Skinny Pete, you know, his is a lot more obvious, right? Because he got flagged for like a program or whatever, and he says he's dealt with it before using his stuff. I mean, he has like a unique setup, so I'm sure there's a lot more to it.
Right.
Yeah.
For his side.
Yeah.
But I mean, someone like Ditch or TT1Y or X and X and X cheaters, you know, that people in the whole community, I mean, you ask any streamer, like, yeah, we know they're cheating. And yet
Yeah, I
they
feel
get
like-
permabanned and then unbanned. So, like,
Yeah.
why? If they're unbanning, like, people we know who are blatantly cheating, then why? And go back to that no skill thing. His whole story was he RMT'd to buy an account, who then the guy recovered it and rage hacked on. Okay, first, how many rules did he already break? Fuck the rage hacking stuff. You admitted to RMTing to a dev. It's like, is that not against DOS? I don't really understand. And you're not going to ban him? So who are you banning? That's just my question for Iron Man.
Yeah, I feel like Dark and Darker is one of those games. It's harder for me to tell if someone's cheating. Like, you know, if you play like a shooter, you can be like, the guy just like aimbotted me or like saw me through the wall, or, you know, I think it's a lot easier. In Dark and Darker, unless it's just like God mode, I have a hard time deciphering like who's cheating and who's not cheating.
You can tell when someone's cheating and they have a dagger in their hand and they're hitting you with that dagger from 30 feet away. You're like, okay, I can tell.
Well, yeah,
that
that's
guy's cheating.
fucking blatant.
Right.
But I
That's what I
mean,
mean.
yeah,
You could
you
typically
know.
tell. Yeah.
Somebody in my chat made a good point. They say the ESP, I thought ESP was just a joke about people stream sniping, but apparently that's like an actual thing where they can see your stats, health.
Yeah, it's like wall hacks.
Yeah.
I had no idea. They're saying
Never played Tarkov
cheaters-
before?
No, dude.
It's
Oh,
ESP
God.
just has a great name for what it is.
Yeah. So people are saying the cheaters can see your name with ESP. If you have live or TTV in it, you're less likely to get cheated on.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
I
just
get
like-
that.
I
At
don't know
that
how
point,
much
okay,
that
so
can be-
every cheater is out there a professional actor, like straight out of Hollywood, because they never ever mess up. They're just perfect in concealing their shit. My ass is what I say to that one.
No, I'm
Again,
definitely
as
with you
someone
on
who
this one.
pickpockets for hours on, I feel like I'm putting myself in the best position ever to get cheated against, and it just never happens. You know what I mean?
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
But I do think if people are cheating, it's ESP. Have you guys noticed an incredible amount of perfectly timed third parties that just happens about 90% of your fights? Or is that
I
just like
have,
a
yeah.
trios thing?
No.
Oh, it's creep for me.
In solos, yeah. for
Just
me.
creep.
Yeah.
Oh, did I just sit down after having not moved for 3 minutes? Somebody immediately just barbarian busts down the door and just turns and just hits me right in the head for
That's
an insta kill.
terrible. Yeah, that's
It's always
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Instant.
That's pretty blatant. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about creep? I want to know. I want
No,
that
I don't
shit
like it.
gone, bro.
Not a fan. Yeah,
I'm not
I
a big
wasn't a
fan of
fan
it.
of that immediately. I didn't like that.
Because like,
Whoa, hold on. Weren't you back at no? I died on this hill. I thought you were like, hey, let's try it out. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
am
I
I
said
wrong?
I said we should test things and try it out, but I didn't like it. I don't have to like a
Okay,
test.
all right,
I
all
want
right.
I want the devs to test shit out. And if I don't like something,
Yeah.
at least let it be played for a week. You know, on day one I can say
Yeah,
this
let it
shit
ride out.
sucks. Yeah,
Fair.
but let's let it go for a week. They have to collect some data, see if it was worth a damn or not. And if it's not worth a damn, then fucking remove it, you know?
I don't know. I
It's
thought
been
creep
like
was a
a
bad
while
idea.
though.
What's that?
Yeah.
For
It's
creep.
been a while since they haven't took it out though. It's been like what, 2 months?
it's been a hot minute. Been a
Yeah.
hot minute.
And I feel like only rogues should do it, and they have to have a perk with it. I think that's the only
Yeah.
way that makes a rogue like. That's what rogues do.
Well,
They
they
creep
added
around.
it so that way you could do the solo quests in the trios maps. Wasn't that their whole distinction of it? They needed.
Really?
They literally said
Kinda,
you can look in
yeah.
the patch notes. Yeah, that they needed a ratty way to play, so that way you could effectively move around the dungeon. Because otherwise, you were locked out of the crypts
Hmm.
because you couldn't get 2 other people with you.
Right.
And then in the patch, when they said they were taking out multiclassing, we are looking into new ways to be having people play in those like playlists.
Yeah,
solo.
you're right. Yeah, they said that.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm confused. Like, do they not have the technology? They don't even have the technology. They said to have account-wide quests. So we're all locked onto our main character, and we have heavy identity issues with those characters, right? Like, my blood boils at Rogue.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just a fucking character. But like, people hate Wizard, right? Or people hate Ranger, or they hate Barbarian because that's their counter. And it's like,
Yep.
now we also have to deal with. It's like, at what point is the technology excuse in 2024 and just not there? There's one guy working on everything. And so to bring it all back so I don't rant, I want creep gone because there's no reason for it to be in the game because you can get all the quests done solo. It invalidates Rogue and one of the class identities of it. And it makes characters that can one-shot you up close. I've been running Instacast on Wizard because that is bullshit with creep. Have you ever been like,
Little
I walk
spell
up behind
sniper.
people. I've killed 4 people today with the magic missile. Just psych, boom, and they just went flying, dude. I have a couple clips of it. I'll have to pull it up,
I
but
saw earlier on your stream some guy, you were hiding as a wizard and you killed a ranger who didn't see you in the shadows as a shadow wizard in the money gang, and
And I
you
threw all the
you
magic
beat that
missiles and he
bitch's
couldn't run.
ass.
He just-
It was great. It was beautiful.
it's fantastic, and I
Yeah.
hated it so much. It shouldn't be in the game at all. But other than that, it was great. But
It was fun to watch.
I'm gonna mute myself here so I don't rant. What do
No,
you
you
guys
should
think
rant,
about it?
please. Rant all you want. That's what we're here for.
Let us know, bro.
Take the
I
collar
just-
off,
it's-
brother.
I mean, Y4mi isn't live. That monster. I wanted to click in and see his chat, but he's not even live.
Yeah,
Rather
my
than-
camera doesn't work. I can't stream and do Discord camera. So
You're wild.
yeah.
You don't do
I have
virtual
cam.
cam?
You can do virtual cam, yeah.
I
No
do, but
OBS?
then my DSLR is like messed up and shit. I don't know. There's something wrong with my camera. Yeah,
Hmm.
Fair enough.
it's okay.
Well,
Please.
but okay. So like the finality of it, I want creep gone for that. The only other thing really in that whole rant is I want account wide classes or account wide quests if
Quests,
they
yeah.
ever do it, because it goes back to the tutorial thing, right? You're not gonna know how wizard works if you're spending weeks and weeks trying to get your barbarian leveled up. And then what are you going to do? Are you going to go experiment with wizard? No, you don't have any gear on wizard. Everybody's got gear. They don't wipe the game for 3 months. So I'm not going to go take my normals wizard in and try to figure out that character. And if they can't figure out how the simple parts of the game work, then they're going to be really lost on the complex. I would be scared to watch a Timmy try to play Bard for the first time after only playing Rogue.
Mm.
That'd be terrifying. And then
You
let's see here.
probably
We
feel
had,
like a new man, dude.
Yeah.
Go from weak to
Actually.
strong in one
A
click.
whole new world.
then one of the big questions. We have somebody that keeps constantly asking about this:
Sure.
free to play versus battle pass. What do you guys think? Because my first initial reaction. So if is it going to Epic Games or are we going to Steam? We're on a Steam club thing now. Iron Mace is one of
I
the
think Summer
featured.
Games Fest has nothing to do with Steam, right?
Honestly, I don't think so either.
The Summer
have no
Game
idea.
Fest is just Jeff Keighley's new E3. Like E3's dead, so this is kind of like the new E3.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Ah.
But I mean, Iron Mace said a while ago that Epic Game Store was like a confirmed thing. But beyond that, we don't
Yeah.
we don't know what's going on.
Okay. So Epic is very notorious for giving away games. Not notorious, it's famous for it. Because they made so much money with Fortnite, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if they make a deal with Epic to make the game free to play for an X amount of time, I was talking to my chat saying there's going to be a lot of cheaters. That shit's going to get rampant. And then they're saying, but we're going to have players. Well, how many of you guys played the cycle? Right?
I played a little bit.
How many of you guys? Exactly. That game died because of cheaters. Nothing but streamers getting insta-killed from invisibility when it's not supposed to be in the game. And then the cheaters would laugh and say, hey, I'll give you your stuff back. And they would res Shroud live on stream or whatever it was. Yeah, no, like
the
they were
fuck?
literally breaking the game. So then when it was Blood Hunt, the one that I have a lot of like insight to, I was literally in the headquarters with them talking and seeing where people were banned because the easy anti-cheat's not real. It's just kind of like a band-aid. It's like a banner for it. It's not the best anti-cheat. Do we know what Dark and Darker's anti-cheat is?
Probably great.
Is that the tavern shit?
If I had to guess.
I have no idea.
I'm at a loss. I don't know. But the thing I'm trying to get at is with these small companies, they are legitimately just looking at the game footage and seeing if they could figure it out. They're getting sent clips from people's streams like mine. I was actually banned in Blood Hunt. There was a bunch of us that were in this tight circle that were banned because there was no teaming. But it was because the cheater had clipped out all the important parts and just showed us teabagging, right? We teamed up together to kill a cheater.
That's what you want to see, really.
Exactly. But then what happens when this makes its way to Dark and Darker, right? If we don't have an anti-cheat, if we go free to play, but we don't have a player base for our battle pass, what do you guys think? Would you rather have free to play or would you rather have a battle pass to help out the future of the game?
By the way, the
I-
anti-cheat is called Iron Shield. I was trying to think of what
Iron Shield. Okay.
the in-house anti-cheat is, but yes, it's Iron Shield is what it's called.
I don't think they need to do. I
don't
think the
really
game is probably
understand.
fine for now. Like I think they've monetized it pretty well so far. I think a few years down the road, like I'd be cool with a battle pass if they need to make some extra money. But as of right now, please just make me buy the game to play it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like getting people into it. Like League of Legends. And then is Apex free to play? I can't remember.
It was initially. I mean, yeah.
Look, if you
Yeah,
want to get
free to
people
play.
into it,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just got to open up the market, brother. They got to get the game on Steam. They got to get the game on Epic. I think you'd have probably 5 times the player base on average, I would say.
There's a
I'm
question.
nervous,
There's a question. Let's say the game was on all stores tomorrow, or like whatever. How many people do you think are going to come back? Do you think it's going to be floodgates? Do you think people are going to not care anymore? Like, what do you guys think? I think people will get excited whenever it's back on everything eventually.
Yeah, I think the move ideally, right, is you drop it on Steam, you do a Steam drop, you do a big content update, and you do a wipe all at the same time, and you would have a pretty successful return and influx of new players. That's a lot of things to be excited about. Because if I'm
Which I
somebody
think-
who's, oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say, somebody who's pretty casual at the game, like I would say I'm like slightly above average than your regular player at killing people. I'm gonna get fucking hyped to go just stomp on some fucking noobs all weekend, dude. Gonna have some fucking Timmy turds running around. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Anyway, go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say, I think I'm pretty sold on the SGF thing, the Summer Games Fest. Yeah, I think they skipped a patch. They haven't gotten a whole lot in months. I fucking hope they're cooking some real big fucking food for the 7th. They're gonna
Ice Caves too.
demo the game on Summer Games Fest. They're gonna drop it on Epic, and and it's on the wipe time. They better drop a fat fucking patch, or that is gonna be concerning time for me. I think
Yeah, same for me.
personally.
You
So
think?
I have faith in the boys, dude. I think that's their game plan over there. I see Soma, kind of perking up a little bit. You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm just hanging
Neither
out.
confirm nor deny.
Just happy to
But
be.
I'm
like-
sold on it. I genuinely believe that, they're pretty smart. I'm sure they got something going for that.
All right. Y4mi, do you think the floodgates are going to open? Think there's going to be a shitload of people? What are your thoughts?
I think this game is doing so good, even if it's not on Steam or Epic Games right now. I think it's only like terrible right now because it's the end of the wipe and there's no content going around. But if you look at the numbers, they're doing so good without Steam and Epic Games. So when it actually comes out, I think it's gonna be one of the top games for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
I can't wait for it.
All right, let's get a couple more questions. We're already almost 90 minutes in. The time kind of flies sometimes, huh? Glock, if you have any questions in your chat, feel free to jump in. I'll look at mine and Jay's right now.
I'll say some.
What you got?
How about just like more, like if even just like holdover content, just more map variants. It's probably not that hard to do. I think randomizing mobs somewhat, is always a good one. Just something to like spice it up. So it's really not the same experience for the 10,000th time, you know what I mean? Just something to like, just changing up the maps, maybe more maps or just even more classes. Just some easier stuff,
Yeah, I'm with you. I think dungeons need some sort of random element. Whenever you go into crypts and you know where every fucking trap is and you start shooting around a corner because you know a skeleton is going to spawn right there and you don't even have to, where every bug is, like that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good at all. I don't know if Iron Mace is ever going to make like a full-on procedurally generated world or map or something like that. But some semblance of procedurally generation or a procedural generation or randomization within crypts and ice caverns and all the maps. Just if it's changing where traps and mobs are, it's changing where certain chests are. Like maybe there's not always a golden chest in that middle room in the crypts where the Skelly Champ and the Wraith hang out, that big circular room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's not a golden chest in there, and maybe the Wraith isn't in there. Maybe there's something else in there. Maybe there's a different room where the Wraith is hanging out with a golden chest elsewhere. Like, I think that
a goddamn Hecarim in there.
yeah,
Just to
maybe it's
spice
the
it
cursed
up, dude,
goblin.
yeah, just some a little different would definitely help. I think that's once novelty runs off or like runs its course with anything, people are gonna get bored. And we've been playing a slightly bare bones early access game for a year and a half. Like, obviously people are gonna get bored. People are gonna get burnt out of the same shit over and over again. So you gotta switch it up a little bit. You gotta, especially for the hardcore players like us who are sticking around no matter what. There's like 4,000 or 5,000 people in the dungeon right now. I'm sure we all played in the last day or two. For folks like us, the long term dungeon delvers, yeah, we need some changes. We need to see new shit in the dungeon, or at least the layout changed or where shit is changed. So
Yeah,
I hope that happens.
Even not even having to randomize it, just pump out like 50 fucking crypts layouts, it's random enough. It'll feel random enough anyways. Just to mix it up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Remove minimap? GWAS said randomize maps and remove the minimap. What do you guys think of no minimap?
Oh god.
I kind of like to know what I'm getting myself into.
I mean, I guess it gives like more effort to those who play the game and like memorize, oh, where this is it, like, oh, I know where this is, I know where that is, I guess. But I feel like it's really discouraging to like newer players. I feel like that's like pretty fucked.
Right.
What about you go into a dungeon? Let's say the dungeons are procedural or they're randomized in some way, and you go in, you have to actually find a map to turn on the mini map or pieces of the map. You think that'd be cool, or is that whack?
That's
Whack.
okay.
I mean,
I
even
mean-
just
Kinda- Go ahead.
I like to get rid of the mini map and just make you bust out a map in the dungeon. If you really want a map, you know.
Okay. What were you gonna say,
Oh,
Yemi?
I think you mean like when you like don't, if you never discovered a part of the map, it's like kind of like foggy. Is that what you mean?
Sure. Yeah, that could be a feature.
That's
Huh.
not bad. It kind of encourages like players to like go to that area to discover it, I guess.
Something
I mean,
like
I
that.
assume it's okay. It's like indifferent to me,
Yeah.
to be honest.
We think luck.
Bro, how many of you guys have played a game where you guys played those solo horror games where like you've got nothing but a fucking lighter and you're going through
Yeah.
like the cold
Like
mountain?
amnesia or something. Yeah.
Dude, all I want in this game, fuck a mini map, fuck a HUD. I don't want to see the names of Booty Slayer 59 taking down Mr. 69, or oh, God forbid, in the with threes instead of an E. I want to see a game. Take my HUD, take my sword. I don't give a shit. Make me find something. Make me pull up a map. Make me physically pull up. If you're playing trios and you're like, Jenkins, where are we going? And he's like, hold on. We have to take a left up here. Everybody just goes around, and it's like Jay's like 50 randomized maps. It's like, what's up here? I don't know. It's a Thanos. Sweet Jesus, That's kind of a fun adventure.
No,
and then
you're
if
right,
You're getting
yeah.
the Cursed Goblet. But think about the quest that we have now. Go to Blood Throne. Dude, where the is Blood Throne? You don't know until you get to the place.
That's
It's
funny.
not a mini map. It's just a square of omnipotence. And so
Fuck
it's
does
so
that mean?
simple, right? Like that's what I want to see. And then imagine, oh my God, imagine just different functionalities again. The bats, instead of making you have your screen go, wah, wah, make it so you can't hear your teammates. You can't hear it for a second. You're deaf because it's so loud. Maybe if you get hit in the leg with something, you're slower for a bit, right?
Mm.
And you have to like use a bandage to actually get out.
Or Splint or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you
We
played
keep
Daisy
talking about-
standalone? Hardcore modded Daisy?
Oh no, that sounds way too hard.
Okay.
I tried to play Daisy back in 2012 or 2000, whenever it first came out. And it was like a part of Arma, and me and my friends couldn't figure it out. So.
It's so good. So if you play like hardcore modded Daisy, the servers I play on, you have no HUD or you remove the HUD with a hotkey.
Yeah.
And whenever you find a map in hardcore modded Daisy, you put the map in your hands for your inventory, and you actually do pull up the map, and you can like zoom in and like look at other areas of the map. And you're walking around with a map in your hand. Someone could come over your shoulder and sort of like zoom in and see what you're looking at as well. That's a pretty awesome system. I love stuff
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
But we can't have any of this if Iron Mace doesn't invest into the technology behind the game. And I'm really scared because if I was one of the stupid idiots who was like, oh, wipes over, delete my character because it was Glocktain LLVE instead of LIVE. I was like, perfect. Now I can have LIVE. And I deleted all my demigod rewards.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
I sent them a clip of me having them, me getting demigod, ending the season with it. And they were like, we can't do it. The technology's just not there. Like, oh, okay. I asked the account-based quest questions. Oh, the technology's just not there. And I'm like, for account-based quests? Really? And I'm really worried. I saw a TikTok. If anybody in the chats or any of these are, if you're proficient in what I'm about to talk about, please highlight your mentions, talk about it, that kind of thing. But I think it was Thor. The guy with the black. He was his cybercrime. What's his name? Can somebody help me
Pirate
out?
software.
Pirate
Pirate
software.
Yeah.
Pirate software. Love that guy. He's great.
Have you guys seen his long explanation about what blockchain is and the development of games?
No.
I haven't seen his video.
So, for anybody that's remotely familiar with the idea of it, blockchain is the random. It's a completely generated new thing every time a new element gets added in. Right? Very dumbed down. And I'm very worried that Iron Mace is using that in like the base kind of like functionality of Dark and Darker, because they don't seem to be able to give back the gear, or like if you die to a cheater, you know, that sucks. You can't do anything about it. Iron Mace can't really give it back to you, right? You can't get that kit back. That was in the cycle. I'm pretty sure that was in Tarkov too. If you die to a cheater and they get reported, you get that gear back, right? Was that in
I'm not
Tarkov, or
sure.
am I just fever dream?
I'm not sure.
But like,
Sorry, I missed it.
I was just talking about how like a couple of examples of why I think that might be the technology they use. But if they're going off of that, that's going to create some spaghetti code, and we'll never see these wonderful things. And we can't huff the copium of Epic Games. And the reason I get so passionate about this is because I watch so many games I love die because the companies just won't respond. Like I literally, the gear-based matchmaking, I told everyone they're going to calculate just how much gear they can bring in to shit on the new kids. Boom. That's immediately what happened, right? And the player base is dwindling, and they just don't know what to do because the Timmies can't get away. I'm really scared that it's going to be the same thing with this. So I'm wondering, Soma, do you know
Is the game built on blockchain? Is that what you're asking?
Any kind of sense, yeah. Like,
I don't think so at all, man. I don't think this is a blockchain game at all, or anything like that. It's not a crypto-based game. It's not a blockchain-based game. Not from anything I've seen. Not at all.
Do you know? I know that it's scary as the new guy at the job, but I feel like you're gonna get a shit ton of good karma coming your way if you bring forward a lot of the like the easy fixes that are very like, if you push for it, like, no, we know. Like, how many months have you been doing this podcast? I feel like every couple of weeks I hear people talk about the account-based one, the account-based quest kind of thing. We don't have to have the cool quest. We don't have to have the cool map or any of the crazy like server load options, but just simple ones that make us not hate each other. I really feel like you should just hammer that one home.
I will say this. Since I have joined, I have looked into people's overwhelming feedback, like the stuff that everyone sort of agrees on. I've taken my own feedback and my own thoughts, and this isn't something you want to do day one. You kick open the office doors and you say, all right, time for some changes around these parts. No, you don't fucking do that. You get to know your coworkers a little bit. You know, you shake hands at the water cooler kind of shit, and then you ease yourself into it. First of all, you learn the company, you learn the job, you learn the tools that you have access to. And then once you kind of feel comfortable, you start to give feedback. You start to realize how you can insert yourself into a conversation. You learn the process of how to suggest something, shit like that. Well, I am at the point where I've got all that down. So now I am suggesting shit. I am giving them feedback. And it's not just me. There are a couple of people at the company who take feedback. We look at videos, other podcasts. We watch the subreddit, the Discord. We're gathering feedback now, and there are people doing that actively. And we carefully, after we sift through it, have been submitting it internally. And nothing's gonna happen overnight. A lot of the suggestions have to be looked at and considered. And I'm not the only person at the company with suggestions and feedback, right? There's dozens and dozens and dozens of people that live in Korea, and a couple of other people strewn around the world. And everyone at the company plays the game pretty much, right? So everyone has their own thoughts on how things should go. But all that being said, I have definitely shared my thoughts and opinions on stuff. I have brought feedback, like even just simple stuff like that, like shared stash or account-wide quests and stuff like that. I have submitted that kind of feedback. It has been seen and heard. And as a marketing guy, it's not up to me to get to choose. I'm not on the actual development team itself or the design team, but I do know that Iron Mace listens to their employees and they do look at the feedback. And now that there is a small semblance of a North American team, and there is marketing folks that can pay attention to this stuff more, people that actually speak English that understand what this podcast is even saying. Because you got to realize 99% of the company, they speak Korean and they read Hangul, and they're not watching the stuff because they don't understand it. So I think we have to give Iron Mace some credit and, you know, take the boot off their neck a little bit over the past year, because they haven't fully been able to understand all the feedback. They're kind of like guessing using data. They have Terry, who speaks English. They have SDF. They have a couple of people in the office that speak English in a broken manner. But now, I'm not saying that I'm gonna save the game or anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. But now that there are people in marketing, now that there are people in marketing, people that can understand the English language, gather the Western player feedback, we will see some changes slowly happen. So, yeah, it's gonna take some time. So, I mean, be patient. I have a lot of faith in Iron Mace. I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. Obviously, I can't say shit about it, but if people can be patient and sit tight and let Iron Mace do their thing, yes, voices will be heard, feedback will be heard, and changes will be implemented, and the game will get better. And I know that's like a political answer, and that's the best I can do. Sorry.
My favorite.
That was a good answer. Though.
Thank you. But yeah,
I do hope. I know they hired like a bunch of people, so part of me wants to think that, you know, maybe the game's taking a little bit of a backseat so the company can get up to speed, and then.
Yes, that's where you should. It's. I'm glad you said that. Yes, so the company is growing
so I'm
right
sure
now.
it's struggling a little bit, you know, just because they got so much moving. Really.
Yeah, and don't forget, this whole time there's still that stupid Nexon case that the company has to deal with too. And
Right.
I feel like if the Nexon thing wasn't in the picture and they never had to worry about this, things would have gone way differently, right? Like the development would have been sped up in some ways. They would have started hiring early
because they're like,
Yes.
I don't know how it's gonna go. What do we do?
They wouldn't
I'm
have to
sure.
stay so quiet. They wouldn't have to move really slow in some regard because of certain things. So I feel for them in that regard, because man, when you're a little tiny studio, and it's way different than the West, right? They're in fucking Korea, and they're a tiny little studio going up against one of the biggest multi-billion-dollar companies in their tiny country. Like that would be scary. That would fucking suck. Especially if you're one of those people in the leadership position whose name is being thrown out in the news and shit. Like that sucks, man. Like that's some stressful shit. Like I don't know what's going on with the court case. I don't know what's going on with the Nexon thing, but I can only imagine no matter where they're at right now with it, it's got to be stressful, and it's got to take some of your precious brain power and energy to even deal with that shit, and then crunch to like get some hot fix out or patch the game, or, you know, take feedback from podcast or whatever it is. So yeah, it's
Fair.
CEO of Nexon shows up in the chat. I love that. What's up, CEO of Nexon? Good to see you.
All right, let's take one more question. Let's get out of here.
Sure.
I gotta go get some food.
No
I'm
problem.
hungry.
No problem, baby Donnie. All right, one final question, folks. What do we got? CEO of Nexon, do you got a question?
It's like, what is computer password?
You know what's funny, for his name being CEO of Nexon, he's always like talking about how the game could use this or use that and be a little better.
Yeah, CEO of Nexon is typically really positive.
He's like, how long do you leave your email unattended for?
I got one. You guys think Iron Mace got a fucking rat inside? I think it's funny how the druid goes on the test server, and 2 weeks later, Dungeonborn releases a trailer with their druid who just happened to use the same exact panther.
I didn't even know about this.
Well, they have like an asset? Did they use the same asset?
They use the same exact panther for druid.
Hey, Soma, didn't you
Oh.
recently get into Iron Mace? That's kind of weird. The timing is a little bit suspicious right now.
Toma, isn't your favorite movie
Yeah.
Black Panther? What is this?
It is my favorite group of all
Yes.
time.
I know it's
yeah, I'm the
That
mole.
was a little funny.
I'm the mole. As you guys
There we
know, if you have watched this podcast before, you guys know that I am a big Dungeonborn stan. And I have been really, I've been rooting for that game from the fucking. I'm just joking. I fucking hate Dungeonborn. No, I hate all the
Oh,
clones.
thank God.
No, I fucking hate. I hate all the clones. They're all dog shit, and I wish they didn't exist. But whatever. People are gonna try to make their money. No, I who knows? I mean, corporate espionage is a thing. Like, corporations and companies, they implant moles and rats and companies and shit all the time. So do I think that's the case in Iron Mace? I mean, probably not. It's like, 50 Koreans coding this game, doing their thing over in Seoul.
Dude,
I don't think they have a rat,
wish.
but who knows?
I wish some shady corporation would approach me for fucking corporate trade secrets. I would sell out so quick. I'd be like, 10 extra grand? Yeah, dude. I have no loyalty, like, at all.
You're loyal to the almighty dollar. Get her done, brother.
Damn right.
Yay,
There's a guy asking
America.
about heartbeat sensors? What?
Huh?
He says, what do you guys think of a heartbeat sensor to stop all the cheese in solo duos? This fucking aliens? Like, I don't know what that means.
Hey, buddy, are you in the right category? Is he in the right
Wait, what
category?
cheese though?
The rogues. He's just like, I'd be.
Oh, the
Put an
rogue.
invis on you if you just had a heartbeat sensor.
How would they implement a heartbeat sensor though, like in the medieval times?
Bro, these
I
pesky
don't know.
rangers. I can't fight them.
You're
I'm gonna get a
casting
gun.
fireballs,
Like,
bro.
Hmm.
That was a good one though. What do you think about more like perk slots or skill slots? You guys think that would like ruin or improve build variety? I guess.
We need more?
Like a 5th perk slot and like a 3rd ability, or like an ultimate or
Maybe.
something. I don't know.
Any of something like that.
I would rather have a subclass system that changes my perks or gives me access to new perks or inactive abilities, or as I'm going down the talent tree in my subclass, hitting certain talents that change the way other stuff performs or bolsters certain things. That's what I would do. That's instead of adding an additional perk or an additional ability.
Maybe every class should have like an innate perk that's like only for them.
Yes.
That'd be kind of sick
100%.
to make them even more unique.
Yeah,
Like Wizard gets clarity aura built in. So they
Something
just
like that.
constantly regen spells.
Somebody
super slow.
brought up a great idea for that though. So it's because I was saying how clarity pots were broken. I was like, we can't bring those back. It's unclear. Somebody said, well, what if you have to kill mobs to activate like 5 seconds of clarity, right? If you're light orbing a room and you kill a goblin, you get 1 light orb back or whatever amount they assume. If the rogue's hiding in there, he knows you're getting clarity back. It's clear. You have to divert resources. And it's like you have to put yourself in danger to get a gain. I thought that was a great idea. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's an interesting stand.
Right?
Someone talked
Could
about
be
that
cool.
before.
Well, I think we talked about it before.
Getting some spell like recovery per like PvE kill or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like
you like dump spells and clear and just not get on
yeah,
because you have to
there's
sit on the
too much
floor.
downtime for wizards. They're just sitting down doing nothing. I feel like feel like it's super boring to get the spells back that way.
As a fan of
Something more
crosswords,
interactive.
I think that's a little rude. That's how I get my crossword time in. Yami. I read chat, Yami. Okay,
My
now let's
bad.
play
I
musical instruments all the time.
People always do
Oh
cross.
my
I didn't
God.
know people would do crosswords these days.
I feel sorry for any streamer who plays Bard, bro. Your fingers have got to hurt so
Oh
bad
yeah,
with
I
the,
mean,
like,
I hear the
jam
music in
session.
my head when I dream. To be honest, dun, 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 dun. It's like it's all that.
Oh god.
When I was on my Bard
I
kick,
just-
I would hear the Bard music in my head too. I wouldn't even be at my computer. I'd be taking a shower and I'd fucking be humming the music and shit. I'm like, okay, I gotta fucking get out of this
Yeah.
class. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but it was too much.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I would just get a migraine from like all the constant like rebuffing I would have to do on Bard. I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is too much for me.
Gotta skip those notes, bro. Gotta skip those notes.
I can't be fucked. I can't be bothered to do it, dude.
Yeah, it's a
It's
lot.
so fucking OP though.
Yeah, Bard is way too good.
All right,
I
one
had-
last question. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Honestly,
say-
Ritalin prescription. You'd probably be the best player as a Bard.
Just
Just
gotta
constant.
microdose a little amphetamines, know what I'm saying? Gotta play that flute real good. I had a question, and this has been the crux of I've always been hoping to get on this podcast to talk about this.
Sure.
I think, and I've said it before, and I've said it in text before for a couple of people. I genuinely believe this game needs to cap the buffs at 3.
Oh.
Buff
Yeah.
what they do, so that way, the harmonic shield is an ass, right? It's not just a little bit. You don't have to choose. But at 4 buffs, make it 80% effective. At 5 buffs, that 5th buff needs to be 60% effective. I don't care if it's time, I don't care if it's stats, whatever. Think about how cool Bard would become if you actually had meaningful songs that weren't just, spend 2 minutes, guys, get a little closer. Sorry. Go, 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 go. Sorry, you were out of range. Get back here. Jeffrey. But mid-fight, if instead you didn't think to yourself, oh, here comes the buff ball that's had the 2 minutes of pure 10 extra damage. Here's the buff ball who's had an extra 30% action speed, or Accelerando. Accelerando is a perfect example of what I want all the other spells to be. Oh, they have Warlock Wizard. Don't worry, I have a magic resist. Step back from that ledge, my friend. And then the bard is actually playing their music. They're not just, oh, well, I've played it. Now it's time to be Slayer Fighter with my buckler rapier. And then that's it. Or crossbow time for now 10 minutes. I genuinely think the game would feel better for everybody. Whether it be wizards, clerics, their buffs would be more impactful. Bards wouldn't have a grocery list to get through every 2 minutes. And then the enemy teams would have so much more fun fighting those characters. They'd stop being so egregious. How do you guys feel about that? Because I'll talk everyone's ear off and I passionately defend it, but I want you guys to go crazy with it.
I love the scene on Mad Max with the guy on the cars just jamming out, the speakers on 11. I want to see the bards doing that mid-fight, 100%. At least with like that part. And I do think the buff cap would be nice. That's a classic.
What about whenever a certain buff type, like let's say it's a movement speed buff or armor or something like that, it's on you and then someone else in the party puts on a new buff. Like let's say it's a bard and a cleric. If a certain type of buff for movement speed from the cleric is out and then the bard plays his song, what if it just overrides the other movement speed buff? So, or something like that.
What,
instead of stacking and
around
stacking
it,
and
though.
stacking and stacking. Does that make
We'll
sense?
just min-max around that,
That's
and
what I'm
you
saying
just
is
Okay.
cover all the buff types rather than stacking them at that point. So.
exactly, because if
Right.
it's just 3, then the characters that do have the overlapping buffs to each other, like even Barbarian's Warcry, right? I know nobody uses that, but imagine they made it better so you get like 50 extra HP. Oh, well, now we're not just seeing Rage Achilles. We're now also seeing buffs can be better. But right now, you cannot buff any of those AoE buffs or team buffs because Bard and Cleric exist. They will immediately become broken because of that kind of thing. And I'm so curious as to what the community thinks, because when I try to type this out in like a Twitch chat, as people are doing Among Us dicks in like kappas, it kind of gets caught away and it's just like it doesn't really work. And so I think bards would that's their class identity, right? Because what is the bard's class identity right now? Do you see any of them take the extra
Be a-
PDR? Go ahead.
A better
No.
fighter, better rogue.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
streak of weakness, the character.
Almost better
That's
ranger.
all it is, because that's the one spell or the one actual song they do mid-combat that's cool. Lament of Lagur, or however you say it, got nerfed because it was so good. While you could also be doing all the other things. You could keep that. But if your teammates are around, and then that could just be another buff. That for a teammate, it gives 0 movement speed or anything. But then it starts to affect your other buffs. Do you have them positioned frontline or backline? Because right now they're just frontline PDR tanks that then make your fighter do nothing. I do agree with Jay. I think they are very overtuned because they have the answer
Pun
to everything.
intended.
Nice. Damn it. That was so good. But it's just every time I talk about this, not with like a microphone in front of me. Every time I try to type this out or anything like that, God forbid the general chat of the Discord.
Why would you?
I
You're
need
like pissing into like hurricane winds doing that. I want you to understand.
mouth open and screaming into the
Yeah.
rain. But do you guys think that would be a good way to take the game? Because especially with Druid coming in and passive heals on the buff bar,
Yeah.
I don't know how the game's gonna go if it
Yeah,
doesn't go to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I can definitively say yes or no, but I would love to test limited buffs. I think that sounds good. Sounds great to me.
I'm just saying, why was movement speed cap introduced? Because people were buff stacking and moving at the speed of light. So
Right.
it seems
Yeah.
just like the common problem is buff stack.
Yeah,
The way I see it.
I agree.
And what was the meta that was forced?
Buff ball, like you said.
Attaboy,
The
yeah,
same
yeah,
ones
that
as
one.
Day one, baby.
Exactly. But so that's my end question. That's what I want. That's the big thing. So thanks for letting me get on my little soapbox there, boys.
Yeah, you know why people don't like hearing that though, Glocktain? I learned this in the playtest. I made one suggestion for this game, and it was just like nerf how good the wizard buffing other people was. Because I was like, maybe just cut the time in half. You know why I don't think people like that,
So-
that kind of stuff? Because they all play buff wall and they're all getting buff stacked.
But they
It's
could
just
just,
true.
they'd have so much more fun doing it, dude. I just don't understand. I'd like to think I have empathy for that kind of thing, but I physically can't put my headspace in that where it's like playing a video game is just a chore list. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I hope all the people out there that play Bard and Cleric, I hope you know your spells and your music would be buffed. So that way you're more impactful and you're not just, hey guys, I was here too when we wiped that team. Nice. Like, think about it, they could give you your drums back where they're actually like not just a flaccid dick. Unless you hold them for like a full minute. Have you guys watched Ikira try to throw drums at people?
Yeah.
Bro was Chris Kyle on the fucking drums. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was
I'm
dunking on
small,
Rogue.
Miss Small, baby.
But then, I mean, if they change the way the functionality of the class works, they don't have to just nerf. Nobody wants to see their favorite classes nerfed. I don't want to see wizard nerfed. People don't want to see fighter nerfed, even though it's like the main character. People don't want to see rogue nerfed to where he's just like pool noodling somebody, right? Let's get some actual functionality in the game where we're changing how this works. Just like with how subclassing would keep people if they can't figure out account quests. Make it so if I choose a fire wizard, I do a little bit more DOT, right? I make the character kind of light up with fringed flames, just like how the mobs do now. Ice wizard, they get slow, chill, passive on the perk or some shit like that, where it's like someone's around you, but you can't see them. You get like a little bit of like ice on your HUD, kind of like the blood in Call of Duty.
Right.
Shit like that. Barbarian, every time you smash a door down, you get an extra 5 strength and vig. Call it the intimidation check or some shit like that.
Ooh.
Rogue, they're passive. They don't have to have anything on their belts. So that way they can actually use the lights. Make more lights in the dungeon gone. So that way when you see a dark room, you're not like, rogue time. Got it. I'm going to go the other way with my mini map because I've played this map 400 times.
I like the like a system of checks like that. That could be really cool. Like something to introduce later. That could be really fun. Yeah. I like that. That's kind of clever. Good shit. Look at you cooking.
Maybe you are gonna save the game, Glocktain.
Look at
Yeah,
fucking
we'll
Glock
see.
cooking and
Let's do
shit. Hell yeah.
I'm going to fucking try, sir. I'm gonna fucking try.
Gentlemen, this was a damn good episode. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark. I know Donnie wants to go eat dinner, which is cool. I get it.
The
Gentlemen.
stakes.
Yes, steak and bacon.
Eggs,
Yeah.
Meat.
I actually, I get some gabagoo. No, I actually bought like a plate of like salami and all kinds of like different little sausage slices, and I'm gonna wrap it up with some cheese. Make like big old sausage cheese salami roll ups.
There you go.
Oh
There
yeah.
you go.
It's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna wear my Tony Soprano tracksuit.
There you
It's
go.
gonna be great.
Beautiful. Glock, Y4mi, you guys are both awesome. You guys make great content. I like the streams you guys put on. Keep on going, keep on trucking. You guys will keep seeing the growth, I believe.
Thank you guys for having us.
You guys are very entertaining. Very good players. And
Thank
of
you so
course,
much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
yeah, sorry you guys didn't get solo episodes. Not doing a stream last week. I was like, shit, we could have solo episodes and kind of push back the guest list. Or let's just have these guys on together. I knew that you guys had at least played together once, so
No, I think Glock is super chill. I actually
feel a lot more
really like them having
comfortable.
on with me.
beautiful, awesome.
No
Well,
cap.
we will definitely get you guys on for another roundtable
Get out of here, Jay.
roundtable
Get out of here,
discussion
Jay.
at another time. But gents, it was truly a pleasure to have you guys on. Glock, where can people find you on the internet machine?
I mean, if you look up Glocktain on Twitch, there's some little motherfucker with like 20 followers. But if you do Glocktain _, now that guy,
There you go.
that's some primo stuff right there. That's me. If you just Google Glocktain, it's gonna be me. TikTok, YouTube, all that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah, awesome. The _ matters, folks. Y4mi.
I'm always on Twitch every day around 7 p.m. EST, Y4mi. And I also try to post YouTube videos every day at Y4mi -dark and darker. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, is your chat always thirsty? Because I'm seeing some thirsty chatters coming through Jay's.
We are.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like a PG-13 kind of guy. I'm like keep it really wholesome. I don't know. These guys are just so weird, coming into my chat and just
I'm
telling me to
pulling for
oil
logs,
up all
bro.
the time. It's just I just can't believe
Wow.
it. I'm just trying. I'm a
Okay.
holy man. I'm virgin until marriage. I don't even know.
Hey,
Just-
Yami, you want to
just
swivel
ignore
your
them.
chair a little bit there?
Huh?
You want to swivel your chair just a smidge there? What's that? What's that push in the
Actually,
background? What's
nothing.
going on there?
I don't know. Someone put that in the corner of my room. Actually, that, little
A giant
mushroom.
penis.
I must have left that there when I
It's
was
a pink.
hanging out
It's a
with you. My
pink. It's a
bad.
pink mushroom. Actually, it's a pink mushroom. I'm really into mushrooms.
Mm.
But yeah, I like
Wild.
vegetables.
Beautiful. Donicus, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, I go live on Dead Donnie on Twitch sometimes. I stream cowboy roleplay. Maybe I'll stream some GTA roleplay with Jay here.
You
soon.
should.
We'll see.
Mm.
Let's see. Hop on there, harass, just make him cringe so hard of how deep into character I go. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'll try my
Okay.
best.
Actually, I would probably appreciate it.
But
Make
yeah,
a
stream,
YouTube
have some
video.
old- Maybe, dude. Here's the thing with RP. If you want to make an interesting YouTube video, you've got to get a lot of footage to go through because a lot of RP is literally standing in a circle, like, so what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, been through that one a couple times.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
All right.
Good point.
Yeah.
Mr. Griffia, where can people find you?
I'm Jay Griffia on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Beautiful. I am at Soma on everything except YouTube. It's at _Soma, where you can watch this podcast and sessions of D&D, 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, which is pretty awesome. I know, it's cool. But beyond that, folks, we will be back next Tuesday. We have a couple of guests. It's going to be Augie and Sparky Kawa on together. Sparky actually just killed the warlord solo in HR with a longsword, which is really cool.
No, I didn't.
Frick.
Oh shit.
Check out the video on YouTube. It's pretty badass. It's pretty cool. So check that out. But we'll have a couple of longsword bros on next week. Should be a fun one. Boys, again, thank you so much for joining us. It was great. You guys are lovely. Jay, Donnie, always a pleasure as usual. And chat. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
Bye, chat. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.